Good evening and welcome to another night of Late Night Siege. Joining me, as always, is Devmarta. How are you tonight, mate?
Very, very good. It is Friday. Time for Late Night Siege. Got my cup of tea. I'm all ready.
Good to hear. And of course, you'll all see we are joined by a guest, as always. It is Ben Green this week. How are you tonight, Ben?
I'm very well. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, when Dev said it's late night and it's drinks, I thought he was trying to get me on a whiskey show, but clearly it's all about tea and siege. So I have a lot to learn tonight, I suspect.
Yeah, they are definitely two of Dev's favorite combos. And look, if I have to hear again about how many times Dev's had to reheat his tea because he doesn't drink it quick enough, boy oh boy.
He was.
Yeah, it is the running joke these days. But we've got all kinds of things to talk about tonight. For those of you who have been around in the Siege world, you might know that it is the free week coming up for Rainbow Six, which means you can play the game for free. There's also a sale, so lots to jump on. A great time to get your friends in. So we rang up old mate Ben. Now, Ben, I think the first time I met you was in 2017. You work obviously for ESL, as the shirt says, and you were there at the very first event that I ever worked at. Why don't you give us a bit of an intro to anyone who's watching? Who are you, Ben, and what do you do in the gaming community?
Yeah, for sure. So I started off shoutcasting, originally COD, like in 2012, and eventually between building up my own broadcasting org and working at internet cafes, I ended up with a job at ESL helping out to sort of put programs together and things like that. These days, obviously, I still shoutcast and I host stuff. I'm also the publisher relations lead at ESL in Australia. So my actual job is to work with publishers and help them do whatever publishers want to do, whatever that may be. But yeah, I do have a long background in casting games. I reckon I've probably done 25, 30 different titles between commentating and hosting and whatever. So Siege is technically one of the titles that I have been a part of in my hosting / shoutcasting career. But I suspect if you were to sub me in tomorrow for something, I'd be on Struggle Street.
Yeah, and look, which events did you do for Siege, if you want to jog some people's memories that might remember?
Well, I need Deb to tell me because I don't even know what it was. Like, I remember we did Siege. It was in the ESL studio. We had teams there, and it was live, and everyone was on the desk. Is that right? Like, I could be mixing things up, but that's my recollection.
Full marks. It was the Year 2 Season 3 APAC Pro League Finals, which was the inaugural Pro League when it got introduced into the APAC region. So it was the first time any of the Asian teams have flown to Australia for an event. And yeah, it was a pretty special time. The scene was very young at that point in time. And it was my first ever cast at a studio or anything like that. And I was saying before we started, Ben, you were the first one that taught me how to press the cough button, which is the button that you press when you know you need to cough, but you're on broadcast and you don't want everyone to hear it. And that's such a useful tip, Ben, and I've held that memory with me to this day.
I can give you a new tip on the cough button, by the way. Are you ready? So you know how there's a cough button and then there's a talk back button?
I know what you're going to say.
The talk back button stops whatever you're saying going to air, but it sends it to production. So if you really want to get even on something, I just use the talkback button for cough. And it's very loud in there when you do it. They do not like it. So you really need to, want to do it. But I can tell you sometimes it gets the trick, gets the job done.
I love that. I think I also remember you actually, now that I think about it, stage hosting a Siege thing at PAX.
I was going to say, we did one at PAX, right? So I think I stage hosted the first 2 or 3 PAX stages. So, I do recall we did have, because the thing was Siege always got really good crowds, right? Like it's every time it was at PAX, it'd be full, which was really cool to see. But I don't think I've done all of the ones at PAX because I've certainly started saying, hey, I have other work to do at PAX that isn't stage hosting. I'm sure I have done it at PAX as well. So I probably asked really dumb questions, but it doesn't matter. You just got to get up there and be hype and just be like, yeah, Siege. And it seemed to work back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. So, You go, Dev.
I was going to say, aside from your, professional side in the gaming community, right? You've done
Mm.
hosting, you've done publisher relations with ESL, but I'm guessing you got into that because you are yourself a gamer, and that's something that we're going to be playing some games tonight, right? So I sure
Yeah.
hope you know how to work a mouse and keyboard. Ben, what have you done in the past that would hopefully qualify you to actually come on tonight?
Look, to be fair, I was always pretty average at games. The reason I got into shoutcasting is because I used to play CGM for Call of Duty on PC back in the day. So that was like the mid tier of the old cyber gamer leagues, and we were like an average team. I think we came fourth in the season, and someone must have run out of stuff to cast, so they started casting CGM games, and I was like, oh, I could do that. So that's when I moved from playing not professionally but competitively to casting. But that is what I obviously spend my spare time doing, is playing games. I got into Siege on day one. I have a hard copy of the game somewhere in my house that I got on day one. I was saying to you guys before that when Siege came out originally, I was the manager of an internet cafe in Brisbane, and we had like 20 copies of the game, and all of the internet cafes, there was like 5 or 6 of them around Australia, all had copies, and we were like going to run this comp, not like come in, play with some friends, and play against each other, etc., etc. But the way that works back then, I don't know if it's still the same now, is that you had to play like the tutorial to get in and do that, and we were trying to get people in just to play, and every time you didn't finish it, then someone new would come in and they'd have to play it. So I played the tutorial 20 times on day one, and you'd think as a result I could have had a very long career in Siege, but alas, it's been sitting on my Uplay for the last however many years. And I did reach out probably a couple of weeks ago to the guys and said, hey, I wouldn't mind getting back into Siege. And I played one night with some of the guys, and I learnt some things, and hopefully tonight I can learn some more things. So I probably played 2.5 hours of Siege in the last 3 years. So I think I am suitably qualified to be someone who needs to learn more tonight.
Yeah, and look, that's exactly why we wanted to get you on. We knew that you were a slightly newer player to the scene, and of course, with the free week coming up, there's going to be a lot of people experiencing the game for the first time and maybe a little unsure of what's ahead of them. So maybe before we dive into that, off the top of your head, Ben, what has been the hardest thing for you as a newer player to Siege? Like, what have you really started to struggle with?
Yeah, I think the two things for me is obviously learning operators, or picking what operator I want to play, and then learning angles through walls. Like, there are every game, every shooter is going to have, hey, you need to learn an angle, particularly in this sort of where you're playing an objective, and there'll be places where you normally hold. But yeah, the shooting through walls is what gets me, and the fact that like there are actually I put holes in these 5 walls, and this is where I play from. And I feel like whilst it exponentially increases the amount of strategy in the game, it has been the toughest part for me not to get killed before I even get inside the building or whatever. So yeah, I found that rough. So I'm not sure if that's just I need to play more, or I need to play smarter, or all of the above. But yeah, that's been my struggle.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to go through today like all kinds of things, and I think one of the fundamental things that's making that difficult for you is you don't necessarily know the maps, and
Yes.
so we'll talk about the maps, and we'll talk about maybe how to learn them a bit faster, or how to maybe slow or reduce the number of maps you're trying to learn at once, so you can really just focus in. And I think that once you get over that hump, build some confidence. The game is much less intimidating, and really opens up all these different opportunities. So. Yeah, I mean, Raven, do you want us to jump into game? I think we're going to start by going through like menus and stuff like that first.
Yeah. We'll jump into the game, but just into the menu, we'll just talk about some of the basic things that you'll find in the menu. And yeah, we'll just slowly move through different areas that will help you learn the game, and we'll eventually end up in some quick match at some stage. But yeah, for now, we'll just go into the menu. which I have prepared.
So
And-
Ben, firstly,
Hmm.
what's your username? Because I need to add you if we're going to play together later.
Look, that's an important part of the conversation.
You
How
can
do
tell
I
he's a
find my
concept because
How do I find my username?
Are you in the main menu? This is a great. Here you go.
This is
tutorial.
this isn't staged, by the way. This is literally my username's probably Sandman AU. Does that
Alright.
sound like a username? Or
It sounds like a username. So
Yeah.
are you in the main menu at the moment?
yes, I click my picture and it tells me my name is Sandman AU.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add you.
yeah.
You might get a friend request from some random guy called Devmarta. Just yeah.
I thought I
It's a
blocked
slippery
that
slope.
account.
That would have been
Everyone
smart,
tries. All right. So Raven, we're looking at your screen at the moment. Why don't we
Yes.
start looking at some of the basic stuff that you need to know when you first jump into the game? And I guess Ben, you can on your screen if you want follow along, and we'll start to talk about some of the basics of the menus and such.
Yep.
Yeah, so obviously the menu is split into these panels, and you'll see tabs at the top as well that show you what kind of section you're in. So if you were to click on the operators section, you can see your showcased operators, and they're split into attackers and defenders. So if you click on the heading there, you'll see what operators you have unlocked. And so a lot of newer players will probably see a lot less operators than this. And this is how you see what you've got, and this is where you can go in and look at your operator, change things like loadout. So that's where you see all the different weapons and attachments within those weapons, as well as the cosmetics. So if you unlock headgears, this is where they'll be. Uniforms are in here as well. You can learn more about the operators in this section. So just information about like their difficulty, their speed and armor ratings, bio if you want to hear or learn about the lore of the character and the Rainbow Six world. And then there is an operator video, but I don't believe there's one for everybody. Or is there one for everybody?
There is one for all of the legacy operators that came out and launched, and then the DLC ones don't have them in the menu. If I remember correctly,
You might be right. But yeah, either way, there's also learn about your operator just within that section of the menu, and that's that tab. And then of course there is the shop tab, which is where you will find various cosmetics, booster packs, and then charms. All kinds of cosmetic based things are in here. Of course, as well, if you do compete in ESL Weekly Cups and earn codes for currency packs, well, this is where you can redeem it. That's where you redeem the code. Or if you get like a season pass in a giveaway, you can redeem the code here just in the shop. On the home menu though, some of this might look a little confusing at first because it doesn't necessarily present as obvious initially. This is where you will find your alpha packs. So the percentage is how likely you are to roll an alpha pack next victory that you get in a match. Doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get one, of course. It's all a percentage-based thing. And then this is your booster stash. So you'll see that I've got quite a few boosters loaded up here that I haven't used. But if you wish to activate a booster, that's where it will be. I've honestly not even clicked on this tab before. That's where you find challenges that you can activate. Honestly, have not. And then this will open up the Ubisoft Club, which is also where you will find challenges in this section here, where you will earn rewards like renown, packs for various events, all kinds of things. The news tab here, you'll want to keep an eye on because it will show things like a new challenge. So right now there's a Yana birthday challenge, which you can access through Ubisoft Club. And then sometimes there'll be lots of dots here if there's a lot going on. So definitely good to keep an eye on that. We saw this panel a little bit at the start of the show because we were figuring out username. This is where you will find your username, but also see your party. So maybe if you want to invite me, Dev, to your party, we can show what that would look like with extra people.
My goodness, there are so many Ravens. Can't you pick a more original name?
Look, I wish I had because it's been a pain to try and get just a clean version of my name in almost everything.
There you go.
So there you go. Now you can see we've got Devmarta and Sandman AU in our party, and if you wanted to have a look at their stats, you can click on their names and you can see stats. If they're unranked, you won't see much else. But like for Dev, for example, you can see what his ELO amount is, or his MMR rating, and that's important because you get what you don't want to be shamed.
Don't MMR shame me, all right?
I'm definitely not shaming you. But yeah, look, it's important to know your friends and your own MMR ratings, because if you get 1,000 apart, then you're unable to queue ranked together, which is a bit unfortunate. And we've had to deal with that sometimes.
Frequently, yeah. So why don't we go to the play tab and start to have a look? In fact, why don't you leave the squad, Raven, so you can retain menu access, because at the moment I'm party leader, so only I can control this party. But if Raven goes back, he can go through the play tab. Now, there's a lot of different options for matchmaking and for PvE, so just playing against the computer, and then custom games as well. But I think the way that you would probably start at Raven is by looking at the tutorials and the situations, which are kind of like how to learn the game. There's a set of levels that are kind of like tutorials.
Yeah, so learning area is where you'll find situations and tutorials, as Dev said. Great spot to start because it will learn you just base mechanics of the game. I have completed situations a bunch of times. The first situation in particular, I thoroughly enjoy. But speed running, exactly. Yes.
One little known fact about these, I was going to say, the learning area tutorials, which are just short videos explaining things like how to reinforce walls, how to place gadgets, how to barricade. This is really good. Not only does it help you understand some of the basic mechanics of the game, in particular the destruction, which, as you mentioned, Ben, is one of the most confusing things. Why am I getting shot through this wall? How do I know if a wall can be destroyed? If you watch these, you actually get some renown, which is the in-game earnable currency, which then will help you unlock new operators and other cosmetics and such. So it's really great to just watch these. I mean, even if they only go for like a minute or two each of them, even if you feel like you know it, watch it, and you get some renown, you can spend that on operators. And same thing when playing the situations, which are actual levels that you play, and teach the mechanics kind of one by one in an environment where you're not super worried about getting spawn peaked and then having to sit out for the next 3 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's a great place to start. You will learn a lot about the basics. And someone in chat said it, easy 600 renown to start off with, which can be going a long way towards unlocking some of those base operators because they don't cost a whole lot. And yeah, free renown. Grab it. Cool. So yeah, there's other game modes that you'll find within the play section. Obviously ranked, unranked, and quick match are the main three. But something we're going to talk quite a bit about is going to be training grounds. And this is where you can play against AI opponents with your teammates. So online co-op, for example, you can bring your squad in. Or you can go lone wolf, which is where you just play against the other enemies. And it's just a great way to warm up and learn the mechanics of the game, figure out your controls, all those kinds of things.
And you can actually find other people to play training grounds with. If you click online co-op, it'll matchmake and find other players to play with. And you can also go in with your party, which is what we'll do. The three of us will go in together. We'll play lone wolf, which is basically it's squad play. So that's a great way to learn the maps. And I think that's one thing that me and Raven wanted to talk about as well, is it's kind of hard to learn like every map. The game has so many different maps that you can play on, and some of them are in quick match, some of them in ranked. And to start things off, it's nice to just pick one map and maybe focus on that. So if you want, Raven, we can show the matchmaking preferences system where you can actually change which maps you'll find in training grounds. So under settings, general, matchmaking preferences, you can tick and untick different game mode preferences. And then also, if you keep scrolling down, you can tick and untick the different maps. So why don't we just play, let's say, a single map? Which one do you want to...
I'm curious, Ben, is there a map that you want to practice more on or learn more about in particular?
So for me, I would want to learn a map that's in the actual map pool for Serious Business Siege. So I couldn't tell you what the map pool is, but let's play a map from the map pool, because that's like, for me, like I want to be able to watch Siege and like, obviously I can understand what's going on because it's a shooter where there's an objective, right? That makes sense. But the nuance that is somewhere between what happens at the start and what happens at the end, is kind of lost on me at the moment. So if we can find one of those maps, that would certainly help me.
Okay, cool.
I was going to say maybe Coastline. Or Coastline is the smallest one in the map pool, in the competitive pool. So maybe that's a good one to start with.
For sure. All right. I will make sure that all these get turned off besides coastline.
You don't need to, because I'm going to be party leader anyway, Raven, and I've just done it.
Oh, you are too. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, you're so organized. Look at you.
I know, right?
This guy.
All right. Please invite me again.
Sure. Well, there's all kinds of other stuff that we can go over to do with, your control settings, your display settings, and it's kind of a can of worms you don't want to get too deep into. It won't let me invite you just yet, Raven, so I'm going to do a quick little trick. It's a little trick that I don't know why it works, but sometimes if we can't find a game, we just queue and then unqueue, and for some reason, sometimes it lets us invite people. So Raven, could you do that for me?
I will do that.
I can't invite you. Pro tip, if you're not sure, it's like, hey, try turning it off and on again, and it works. And there you go, I can invite you now.
Yep. Excellent.
So I feel like the best way to start learning the game is to just jump into it. And then if you run into a problem, you can move from there. So I'm going to start a training grounds, which will just be our squad. And then if you have any questions, Ben, about controls or where to go or what to do, you can ask them. We can even go into the menu mid-game and start looking at those anyway.
Yeah, awesome. I am keen. I have questions to start with, by the way. So I know that there's years, right? So there's year 1, year 2, up to year 5, right? Is that where we are, year 5?
Yes.
And then there are there things within the years and are there set releases within the years that come with new operators? Obviously there are new operators, but they come with, how does that work?
Yeah, so every 3 months a new season or operation is released, and that usually comes with new operators or new maps. We're in the operator menu right now, so pick an operator. If you don't pick one, you will it'll select a random one for you. Exactly. I did it too. Ben, I'm in sync with you.
Yeah. Cool. It's too quick for me. The first time, every time it gets me.
So what I feel is good, and I'm interested to hear Raven's opinion on this too, and maybe Ben, your experience, but it tends to be pretty useful if you just start by picking one operator for most of the times you play the game. Now you can't have 2 people in the squad playing the same operator, which means if one of your teammates already takes the operator you would usually play, you won't be able to pick that as well. So it's good to have maybe 1 or 2 operators that you start to play and start to learn to get comfortable with and start to move from there. Now, you're playing Hibana. Is this an operator that you've played before, Ben, or one that you're not familiar with?
I have no idea who I'm playing. So
This is great. This is great. We are learning by doing. Now, I can also see by looking at you that you don't actually have any weapons attached to your gun. Sorry, any attachments attached to your weapon, rather.
Yep.
And if you look at me and Raven's gun, you'll see that we have, I've got an ACOG, scope, and he's got a reflex sight and a vertical grip. And these attachments are all really useful for being able to, some of them, help reduce the recoil, make a gun easy to control. Even just a scope or a weapon sight makes it way easier to see, whereas you're probably looking down iron sights, which are really clunky.
Yeah,
really
I'm a professional FPS player, okay? So I'm, iron sight kid. No, you're right. I did realize there are some operators that I have set up properly.
Cool.
But not this one. Because I may have just bought lots of them. I just went and,
Do you happen to remember which one that you had played before?
No.
All right, we can jump into the menu later, and
Look,
we can have
I can find it from the menu. I just can't tell you what the name is.
That's good. Well, what we can do in a minute, we can start doing some basic stuff, and then maybe you know what, Raven? What do you reckon? Should we go through one now and show Ben around the map and start shooting some bots, or what?
Yeah, let's do that, and then just next time we reset, we'll make sure Ben gets an operator that he's more familiar with.
All right, cool. So, I mean, this may seem like a really basic tip to those who know Siege, but, something that is quite different in Rainbow Six compared to other shooters is the way that it very much revolves around the building versus outside the building. Now, the attackers always start outside the building. The defenders always start inside the building. In this training rounds, we're playing on the attacking side, so we're outside, and we know that the enemies are going to be, for the most part, on the inside. So you always kind of know it's inside the building is where you want to go. Now, you can right-click to aim down sights, which improves your accuracy. Hip firing isn't super accurate. You can sprint, you can crouch, you can prone. You can also throw a drone. You'll notice at the bottom of your screen, you've got kind of like a toolbar with different options. Do you see that, Ben?
Yep.
So you can try around, like press the different buttons. For me, I've got.
Which one's my drone?
It should be the 1, 2, 3, 4th one along from the left.
Drone ready.
Oh, yeah. I got a drone.
Nice. And now you can have a look around and start to find some enemies. Raven is going to protect us from the random bots who are jumping out windows at us. And now you can start having a look around. In fact, I'm gonna follow you around. Actually, Raven, why don't you follow him around in the drone? Because you're the one on the screen.
We've lost the diffuser. Go back and retrieve the device. Diffuser acquired.
I haven't gone very far.
Great
Yeah.
question.
Hello.
Hello.
I'll protect you guys.
Thanks.
So droning is really good because you can quite safely learn the map and walk around, or I guess drone around, and see different rooms before you go into them, so you know if there's an enemy in there beforehand.
Yeah, it's a really important part of Siege, obviously, is map knowledge, which is why we're talking about this right now. But knowing what you're about to walk into is also really important. It's not the kind of game that you can be rewarded, often at least, by just running into the room and dealing with what you see as you see it. A lot of it is about understanding what you're about to walk into before you get there. And that can be utilizing your own drone or utilizing a teammate's drone. But either way, the drones do play a very big part of Rainbow Six, and definitely your experience of the game.
So you always start with 2 drones. Usually in PvP, in matchmaking, you will have 1 drone automatically in the preparation phase, which is a 45-second period at the start of the round before you can actually move around with your operator. You just get access to the drone. You can scout around, find the objective, find other players, find enemy players on the defense. And then you have that second drone in your pocket. Now, you can go back and use that drone at any time, Ben, by pressing the button that is associated with the 3rd icon from the left in your toolbar. For me, it's bound to 4. I think it's probably 5 or 6 for you.
Yeah,
so
it's
you can.
5.
Yeah, there you go. You can press that, and if you press it again, you'll get off it. And so you can always go back to those drones, even when they're in the map. You can go back to them as long as they're not
you can
getting
go
destroyed.
to other drones as well.
Yes. Yeah, so that's a really good way to use your teammates' drones as like a teamwork. You can have someone else and say, "Hey, look at my drone. There's an enemy there," and someone has a look at that. But why don't we start walking inside and taking down some bad guys?
Okay.
So these barricades, you can shoot them down. It usually takes about a magazine to destroy them, about 20 or 30 bullets. Boom, headshot. You're already a pro, Matt. That's it.
Too
I have
easy.
There's nothing more I can teach you.
Yeah. I'm good at shooting things walking away from me.
Go off. Yeah, so maybe you want to talk more about this training grounds mode, Dev, and why you play this mode in particular.
This is a great mode because it's you get into the action really quickly. So it's really great for practicing your mechanics and basically everything from recoil to different angles, map knowledge. Look at this, Ben. You're using your gadget. This is perfect.
I was like, I shoot this at something. Do I shoot this at a wall or a door? And I had like a 50-50 chance.
And you did perfectly, mate.
It got the wall, yeah. So I'm pretty proud of that. Look, easy. Easy.
GG easy, I guess. Now,
Yeah.
you'll notice, see, this wall has these little metal struts in them.
Yeah.
That tells you that it's actually been reinforced. So it's usually a wooden or plaster wall, but the defenders have gone and reinforced it. And that means you require what we call hard breach rather than soft breach. So soft breach is just for destroying things like wood, but hard breach is actually for destroying reinforced walls like this. And the operator you're playing, Hibana, is one of only 4 hard breach operators. So you've picked the perfect operator to deal with this wall.
Well, look, I knew what was coming up. Easy. So you can't shoot through reinforced walls?
No.
Would that be correct? Yeah, okay.
That is correct. You cannot shoot through a reinforced wall, whereas a wooden wall, like see this one over here, this white one on this side that I've pinged with my yellow ping. You can do yellow pings in the world with the Z. Really, really useful for communicating with your team. This one, if you put enough bullets into it, you'll see a hole get created.
Right.
Higher
Can I shoot
caliber
this
weapon.
as well? All right. So
Yep.
this will work on those walls as well.
Yeah.
But does it work on doors? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it will. It'll work on basically anything. There's lots of different kinds of surfaces in the game. We've seen soft walls like this one where you can shoot through. and then reinforced walls like this one where you need reinforced, or rather hard breach to destroy them. And then there are other walls which are just completely indestructible. For example, this at the ground right now, I mean, it looks like it's made of concrete or something like that. Doesn't matter how many bullets you put into it, doesn't matter how many explosives you put into it, there's no way that you can damage this floor. And it's the same for this metal wall here. And oh, did that stick to the roof?
Yeah, can I get through that?
That's destructible.
I thought that. I thought that was indestructible. That bit. No, it's indestructible.
Oh, maybe it is.
That bit.
Oh, it is. You're right. Yeah, no, it's here that's destructible.
That's.
And they look slightly different.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them looks like concrete, and one of them looks like not concrete.
Like plaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, while you can destroy the reinforced walls that are made of metal, any metal that's automatically in the world, for example, this metal wall here or this metal cabinet, you can't actually destroy the metal parts of that.
Right.
Yeah, so we can see that this is the B bomb. A lot of there's 3 different kinds of game modes in Rainbow. There's hostage, secure area, and bomb. Bomb is the most popular game mode among competitive players. It's the one that's played in all the esports. And for this, you have to pick up what's called the diffuser and plant it. It's very similar to other games where you might have a bomb you have to plant in the objective. In Rainbow, you actually have to plant the diffuser to defuse the bomb. So this is the diffuser right here. It says pick up. If you walk over that, you'll pick it up. And you should have a prompt on your screen. Hold F, and you can plant it.
Right. Makes perfect sense, really.
Yep. Once it goes down, you'll have about 45 seconds, I believe it is, Raven, and then all the bad guys will start coming for us.
I didn't realize that part. I just thought that'd be stupid.
Changing mag. 5 seconds.
Oh, dude.
It's scary trying to shoot between you guys.
In 30 seconds.
And you don't
I'm
heal?
down.
Nope. Once you take damage, you always lose that damage. Now, if a player gets injured, like Raven has, you can revive him. There you go. Hold down F to revive. And you want to make sure that you do that when it's safe. And so a great way to do that is then you'll revive while I will cover or something like that. So they're very much a team
5
game.
seconds left until the bomb is defused.
And anyone can be down, right? Theoretically. And then as long as you're not the last person.
That's it. Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing to note about getting downed is that once you've been downed or injured once, you actually will never get injured again. You will always just outright die. So if Raven takes too much damage now, he will just die and we won't even be able to revive him. Of course, you just shoot him.
Sorry.
It's alright. I only took 3 HP in that for some reason, but
It's because
Maybe it knows I'm new.
I think it's like friendly fire is on like a easier difficulty setting because we're playing on the easy mode.
yeah, okay.
Now we've already kind of seen a little bit of gadgets, like you've used your X Kairos, the hard breach that you've got, but there's some defender gadgets, some hostile gadgets as well. So for example, this is barbed wire. You can't sprint through barbed wire; it will slow you down and make noise.
Is it? It doesn't injure you though.
Nope, doesn't. You don't actually take damage, but you can destroy it by smacking it with V, I believe, is the default keybind.
Yep.
And it only requires 2 hits, and then you'll destroy a piece of barbed wire.
Okay.
So that's really good to know.
I normally just run through it, and then I'm like, wow, I'm really slow.
Yeah, I think these days a lot of people do just kind of tend to like edge around it. I don't know, some people do get it still, but it's not the only way to destroy it either. You can use explosives, so any kind of projectile explosive or a grenade will do the trick.
Located the bomb. Move to its location and plant the diffuser.
Very nice. So we found the second bomb in training grounds. There's always 2 bombs that you have to defuse, and once you defuse both of them, you win the round.
Are there only 2 sites on every map, or are there more than 2 sites?
No, there's always 4 objective locations, and for each of those objective locations, there are 2 bomb sites. So once we get into an actual quick match, play versus player game, it'll make a bit more sense because that works a little bit differently to how it does here in training grounds. But yeah, there's lots of different places the bomb can be.
Right. Okay.
30 seconds until bomb
Which
is defused.
theoretically is part of the reasoning for the preparation phase.
Exactly, yeah. Oh,
But there's a lot of people here.
look, there are quite a few.
Hostiles have
Not gonna lie,
located
there are quite a few.
seconds to go.
I'll get him. I'll get you.
I'll cover you.
Oh, look at that. Smoke grenade
Give
right
it.
on us, Raven, to protect us.
5
That
seconds
is
remaining until the bomb is
That's
defused.
so
teamwork on
Raven.
point.
Bet you get that one a lot.
Yeah, look, surprisingly, I do.
Look at that.
Oh,
So,
dodge those bullets.
congratulations. You've just played your first game as Hibana.
We did it. Which one am I?
Insane. The one on the front.
Oh,
This is
that's
the
me.
MVP. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
well, be expected.
So training grounds is a good way to learn the mechanics of the game, you know, how to shoot, how to move, how to crouch, how to drone, basically everything. Whether it's a recoil, the first thing I do whenever a new operator comes out is just jump straight into training grounds and play that operator, try out all the different weapons, try different attachments. Whenever a new map comes out, I will change my matchmaking preferences to only play that map and start to learn it faster. And it's a really good way to just learn the game. You know, sometimes, like you were saying, Ben, you know, it is just a matter of you've got to play more to learn it.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Look, I'd been
Yeah.
only running the I don't even know what they are, like the situations or something. You know, where it's like the So I've been doing a bit of those, but obviously you don't get to pick who you play, so that's more
Yeah.
useful as a like a getting into actual quick play or something and picking an operator.
Yeah. So we can play some quick play as well. The thing that's difficult with quick play as opposed to like training grounds is in training grounds, if you lose, you just, you know, click retry and you get back into the action straight away. But quick match, because it's player versus player, and in Rainbow Six is a game where you only have one life per round. Once you die, you have to wait until that round ends to there's no respawns. And so if you die early, you might have to sit out for a few minutes. And so training grounds is a great way to just get as much action as possible so you can learn the map and learn the guns and everything like that. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily recommend quick match straight away for most people. You know, play a couple training grounds, maybe learn which operator you like to play. Operators like to pick 2 or 3 on attack and 2 or 3 on defense, so that you'll make sure that you'll always have one and your teammates won't just take them. And so let's maybe talk about operators for a sec, Ben. Now that you can go to the operator menu at the top, can you see any particular operator? Maybe if you click on the attackers, is there any particular operator you played before?
Yeah, so I was playing Zofia last time, I now know. I think just because I like the AR.
Yep.
So we can do one with Sophia as well. Is there anything particularly you wanted to jump into next, Raven? Like, do you want to do another training grounds, or do you go into quick match?
I mean, we can talk just a little bit more about ways to learn map knowledge. I think that's a really good one to go over, and it's kind of how we jumped into training grounds initially, right? As we were talking about how to learn the maps. We said we're going to go on a coastline. We did that. Look, we ran through it. We learned some bit about the sites and just progression. But you're not going to learn much from one run, so it's about doing that consistently. That's definitely how I learned the maps the best. And every time there is a new map, that's basically what I do. I just change my training grounds preferences, which you saw us do earlier, to be only the new map, and then I will just play the heck out of it in training grounds. And I'll spawn in one location for maybe 10 goes at it, and then I'll spawn in another location and approach it from a different direction. And that generally helps me just learn the layout of the map, all the different rooms, if you're coming from different sides, like what feels natural to enter or to try and attack from, those kinds of things. That's how I generally acquire my map knowledge when there's a new map in there. And I think that helps a lot just to break down what you're focusing on. It's like what we talked about. You don't want to be going into training grounds and trying to learn all of the maps because there's a lot in there now. It's going to overwhelm you. So yeah, just break it down to steps.
Are you saying we're doing another one?
Yeah, let's do another one.
All right. Same map. Keep reinforcing that game knowledge.
Yeah.
All right, let's do
Fine
it.
it is.
I'll do it on the incredibly hard difficulty now. No, I'm joking.
Do it on, what is it? Hard? Normal, hard, and realistic, right?
Nah, we'll do normal again, I think. Oh, do you really want to change it? No, it's too late.
Okay.
So now, firstly, you get to pick your spawn, and main entrance is where we spawned last time, so may as well select there. And you get to pick your operator. So Zafir is on the third row, the third one along.
Yep. I must admit that was taking longer than you'd think it would take to to work out which one I needed to play.
Yeah. I think it's a challenge. I think this is something we can talk about later as well, but like, and something me and Raven have talked about in the past, like what operators are good to start on. And I think that like Sledge and Zafir are good operators. I think, you know, there are some that are really difficult to learn and some that are much easier to learn. So I would definitely recommend starting on like 1 or 2 or 3 different operators and kind of just see how you go from there.
Yeah, the ones with like the more traditional, you know, utility uses. I saw that there was also one that was like comes with no special abilities or something. Like there's a generic one that you can also use, which isn't an awful idea either. But yeah, you know, oh, guy's shooting at me, but I don't know where he is.
Got him for you, mate. Got him.
Thanks, mate. Oh, look at this wall already.
Classic case of the bad guys trying to shoot you through the walls.
Through the walls. This is the bit I suck at.
They're in the walls. Do you want me to teach you some pro tips about how to kill people through walls then, Ben?
Yes, please.
Alright. Here's a good one. Let's go to this soft wall over here. Ooh. Nice. So, I think you can do... Oh, well, he's trying to shoot us through the wall, so I'm just trying to teach a lesson. And he's making things all difficult, which is pretty annoying. Okay, here we go. We can do it right. That helps. That helps when you just blow up the whole wall.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize it would do that.
Well, there you go. You're learning your abilities. So there you go. Just try things. When you see buttons on the screen, say, hey, why not try this? See what happens.
I've learnt that the middle mouse button one's always the most fun.
Yes, that's good. So you'll notice there's, we didn't really talk about this, but there's barricades as well. The green and yellow wooden barricades on doorways and windows are different to like normal walls. You know, if you punch a normal wall, it just makes a small hole. If you shoot, it'll just make a small hole. But the barricades, they'll always break if you punch them 3 times. Anywhere, 3 times, and they get punched. And after you punch them twice anywhere, you can vault over them. You'll see you get a vault prompt, and you can immediately break it and vault through.
All right. So what's the real difference there? I guess if you're just going to push through, you can vault. But if you want to back off and then...
Yeah.
Right? Is that the difference?
Well, I'll use an example here. I don't know if there's someone on the other side of this barricade just here. Yeah. So if I just go straight and jump over this right now, I'm going to be stuck in that vault animation for a moment. And if someone sees me, I won't be able to unpeek and hide. Whereas if I destroy it, I can, you know, move in, move out, and peek and hide if I need to. So vaulting is good when you know you just want to go as fast as possible.
Yeah, and is that theoretically the quickest way to get through those is to hit it with melee and then vault? Sort of like
usually
a blowing stuff up ability?
Usually. There is... Let's see if we can find another door that's barricaded. Might take a while to find another door that's barricaded. But there is something that people call one-hit vaulting. And if you hit just the right sweet spot on a door, you can actually jump through. We've got one over here, so I can show you. You can jump through with just one vault. It's usually around on the bottom right-hand corner of the X. And you need to make a large enough hole. See, I didn't make a large enough hole. You have to destroy 3 planks. So there you go, 3 planks. And now if you see, you walk up to that, you'll immediately get a vault prompt. It has to be 3 planks, halfway across. So it's not always easy to get every time. But that is, in theory, the fastest way.
Yeah, right. So technically there is an actual way, but if you knew, maybe not.
It's the cheeky way the pros do it.
Yeah, right.
That being said, the one hit and vault is currently patched on TTS at least. You
So you can't do it anymore.
So if that goes through to the live build for next time, it won't be a thing.
There you go.
That is interesting to know.
Ooh, you know what? I wanna. Can we do a sweaty thing? Can we plant the diffuser and then defend it from upstairs and show how to use vertical play?
Sure. What do you want me to plant?
This is the-
Particular.
Wherever you want in this room, wherever you want, because we can open above.
Right here.
So you're making ample use of the supplies to refill your ammo. Very nice.
Diffuser in position.
So,
Defend it from
come upstairs with me, guys. Let's go upstairs. Might have to clear out up here first.
Just a little bit.
I'll get you.
I got down.
Easy now.
Thanks, bro.
Very nice, very nice.
45 seconds remaining.
So if we go
A bomb
upstairs,
has been located.
you can see that it's got that defender that protects the thingy down there. You can you
yeah.
don't even need the big hammer. You can shoot some holes in this floor. You'll notice there are metal beams. So the metal
Yep.
beams will go one direction. It's always easier to shoot in line with the metal beams rather than against the grain.
Yeah, okay, yep.
And this way, it's much harder for them to shoot back. They might not expect us over here. So
15 seconds left.
this is the basics of using vertical play to your advantage.
This is sneaky.
But then people start shooting you from through
5
the walls
seconds
upstairs, and you shoot them back to the walls.
Move to another bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, sweaty. But look, vertical play does play a very big factor in Rainbow Six. So this is the way to think about things a lot of the time is if you can't deal with something head on, you want to think about how to deal with it vertically.
You want to withstand Ben?
I don't know what that is.
Do it, mate. Do it. Zafira is special in that she is the only operator who can revive herself. She,
Right.
through sheer force of will and determination, she can
What a
revive
great-
herself.
What a great ability.
Very useful. Very, very useful.
Useful if you're a bit of a goose like me and probably overextend. Yeah.
So we have to defuse the other bombs. We have to go and pick up that diffuser again.
They reinforced the wall downstairs. How random is
Why
that?
wouldn't they, mate? Why wouldn't they?
I did not realize there was a C4 there.
Mate, that's what you get for underestimating the terrorists. And
That is what I get.
Underestimating the bots.
Look,
Unbelievable.
you're not wrong.
Just you and me then, Ben.
Yeah.
Just testing the crouch button.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure it was the
Bomb
right one.
location.
Oh no, I'm dead.
Oh, no. Alright. Alright.
All on
Lone
you,
wolf
Dev.
style.
It's the sweaty way. It's just how you like
I
it.
even got hit by it.
Wow.
Jeez. Flexed.
Feels bad, man.
Let's polish this one off real quick. So, the bots tend to really come for you once you plant that diffuser. So if you have some utility, you can try and defend against them. For example, the operator I'm playing as Nomad. She has these traps that she can put out. And now if someone walks into the line of sight of that trap, within range, they will get smacked over. That was so buggy. Let's see if that works again better this time. There you go. And he went flying as well. Very useful.
30 seconds until bomb defused.
You aim so
Jeez.
high.
I mean, look,
Changed my
this is
sensitivity recently.
this is a great demonstration of oh jeez.
Have located
Great way to practice like flicking back and forth is what I was trying to say there
seconds left
amongst
until
all
the
that
bomb
chaos.
Also hiding behind objects that can't be destroyed, like this metal shield. Or objects that are difficult to destroy. There you go.
Nice work.
Good team effort.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Cool.
So, how do you feel like you've progressed, Ben? Do you feel like you're completely intimidated and don't have a clue what's going on? Or do you feel like you're actually starting to get the hang of this?
Look, if we just played bots all the time, I think I'd be okay. Yeah. But, look, I didn't realize that there was that thing where you could just go in and do those. It's slightly different,
really?
right? To,
Yeah, it's quite different.
Yeah. And I must admit, I also kind of struggled to find where I wanted to be in the menus last time as well. So, you know, to find the extra stuff to do. It wasn't just like I clicked play and I was like, oh, what part of play should I be on? So, does it change? Does the play button change? Because I feel like at one point I had, like, it was just trying to put me back into, like, I don't know what you call them, like the situations or something. Anyway.
So the menu's undergone a few iterations. I mean, the game's 5 years old and getting updated every month, basically. But what the feature that you won't be able to see right now, but there's the little 3 lines on the left side, which opens up the play menu where you see all the different options.
Yep.
But then to the right of that, it's what they call the contextual play button, which just gives you the option of the last thing that you played. So, for example, on my screen right now, as I'm the party leader, it shows the 3 lines to go to the main play menu, or it says training grounds. And if I click training grounds, it shortcuts me all the way to that, so that you can, let's say you've been playing a bunch of quick match, you can quickly go straight back into quick match.
Yeah. I kept getting baited into clicking it and then playing the last thing I was
situation.
Playing. Yeah, I was like, I just played this one, or I hadn't got 3 stars or something. I was getting really confused. But no, that makes sense.
Good. So, training grounds, quick match. What do you guys feel?
Yes, that's a great question. Let's just go.
Ben, open floor. Is there any questions?
Let's throw it to Ben.
No, like the thing is, I don't know what I don't know. Is the problem. So, like, I understand how to play those things now, and I understand, like, I know that I can go into my operators and change, like, the weapons and the attachments and stuff like that. It's just I guess, getting the hang of it, right? I think a lot of it is just going to be playing some games and working out why I died.
Yep. Fair enough. Well, do you want to jump in quick match then?
I'm down.
I'm ready to lose. Let's go.
I think my camera froze on a funny frame or something. I know someone in chat talking about it.
I just fixed it, but yeah, it did.
I just got really good at talking with my mouth completely still, like a ventriloquist.
Yeah, ventriloquist. It's cool.
Oh, jeez.
Like, the real trick would be to do it in someone else's voice. So when you're on the desk, like, you say things like it's your co-caster when you're on camera, and people are like, well, it wasn't Dev saying that because his mouth wasn't moving. Get people.
You're giving me all kinds of ideas. This is dangerous. You be careful what you say, because might have to steal some of those ideas, especially when Danny Kim and Jordan are on a broadcast. You never know what's going to happen.
Like, that's just trouble, to be honest. DK's, I love it. He's always a good laugh. Never know what you're going to get.
We saw his recent gag on a broadcast last week, I think it was, right, Dev?
Yes. Menu log, very good.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Very funny. Now we're on defense. Pick an operator, Ben. And
yeah, I'm running out of time.
Recognize.
Which one? I had a guy that I wanted to play. Wait, I'm just going to pick this one because I did play this one last week, but not the person I want to play.
So do you remember? Maybe is it easy to remember in the operator menu because it shows like the players' faces, the operators' faces?
Yeah. I have to literally mouse over every one to work out. Is this the person? No, I don't think this is the person.
The bomb's protected.
So maybe that's another thing to do. Like, instead of just jumping straight into quick match, go and figure out what operator you want to play in the menu. So right now we're in the preparation phase. So the attackers will just be on their drones, like this one. You can shoot the drone. You see it? There's one that he's. Oh, even better. Raven has hacked the drone. Nicked it. You also get reinforcements which you can put up. So a good place to put one might be on this wall, this long wall here, Ben.
Oh, you're there. Yep. Come inside. Yeah. And go like,
Yes,
yeah.
this is part of the
Hold
objective. It's part of B. Hold down F. You can put up that metal reinforcement.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Be
In the
ready for
current
hot
live
blast.
server, every defending operator gets 2 reinforcements, but coming soon, they're actually changing it so that the entire team gets a pool of 10 reinforcements, but any player can put them down.
That certainly allows the team to make up for people like myself who may not know where to reinforce.
It's a really anticipated feature. I'm incredibly excited for it. Really good for pro teams as well. It's been really fun to see how that works. So when in doubt, and you're just learning how to play and you're on defense, just sit in the objective. Find a nice comfy place in the objective. Try to get an understanding of maybe where they're going to come from. So there's a lot of noise coming from the window that's out here on my yellow ping.
Yeah, I got
And
shot
Raven's
from out
already
there.
killed one bad guy from there. So, if in doubt, it's perfectly okay to just sit in the objective, hold down an angle, and just watch a window or watch a doorway. That is totally okay. And as you start to learn the map a bit more and learn where they come from, you can start to do other things like use your abilities. Do you know what your secondary gadget is? I think it's usually, is it G? Oh, behind you.
Oh,
Nice.
Look at
Easy.
you go, mate. Look at you go.
I'll get
easy.
you, Dev. Hello? There we go.
Op 4 last
Thank
op
you,
standing.
sir. Look at this.
What do you say, G? Oh, that's a grenade. I've got grenades.
Yeah.
That's why I was playing this person before, because it's like, I know how grenades work.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think he's on the roof.
Skylight Blackbeard.
Yeah, he's on the roof.
Skylight Blackbeard don't peek. I'm like, I'll see who that is.
Raven, now here's the real question. Do I peek?
Up to you, bro. You can if you want to.
Reloading! Cover me!
Is he still up there?
One friendly operator
He
remaining.
was
He's on the
Skylight
stairs.
stairs. I broke his shield. I think that's his first shield, so he'll probably have a second one.
Oh, he's in archives.
The 1v5
Mission
clutch.
failure.
Feels bad.
Terrified me. Oh, he didn't even have his shield up. What a bit.
There you go. Daka, daka, daka.
Yeah.
We
Wow,
got
that guy
destroyed.
shredded us.
You got absolutely destroyed. There you go.
Right, who am I gonna play?
So who did you want to play? Ben, you can play that same one again if you want to. Caveira.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure. I'm trying to find who the guy was. I probably could have just remembered the dude's name, and then it would have been okay. But look, I'm now playing Bandit.
That's great.
Solid choice.
Yeah. Thank you to
Ooh.
the system.
If you want, I can show you a way that your gadget can synergize with my gadget.
Secure the area.
I'm
Keep the
ready.
Bombs protected.
All right. All right. Where do we want to put? I have like a deployable shield. It's like a little metal shield that I can put down. So for example, let me put it down in this doorway.
Yeah. What have I got? Barbed wire?
You've got some barbed wire, and you also have some electric batteries that can electrify anything. So you can
Oh,
electrify
can I-
your barbed wire. You could electrify my shield, and that way, if they try to jump over it, they'll take some damage. And if they try and destroy it with an explosive, the explosive will get destroyed by the electrified.
Right, like that?
Yep.
Op 4 located a
And the
bomb.
next thing I'd probably
Protected.
do is pick up
5
that
seconds.
barbed wire because it's kind of not going to do much because my shield is there.
Op 4
So
located
it's
a
probably
bomb.
better to
Get
put it
ready
a bit further
engage.
back or a bit further out, so that because if they're stacked on top of each other, then one of them's not really going to be super effective. They're not
The
going to be
round
super
started,
slow.
by the way.
It has.
Never sure. Okay, just checking. And we're not impacted by my barbed wire, are we?
No. No.
Cool.
There you go. That's a perfect spot to put it, in the doorway onto the objective. Perfect spot.
I might be stuck. I'm out.
You-
I was a bit stuck. Good now. Outside
So there you
front
go. We
door.
can just chill here, I guess.
Yeah, Havana's
hang
going to
out.
turn out ATMs.
All right. Another place you can put your batteries is on these metal walls, these reinforced walls. And that electrifies them, and it means that, you know how when we were playing the training grounds, you hard breached a wall with Hibana?
Yeah.
If you put electrified battery on the wall, that hard breach won't work.
Okay.
So it's a
At
nice,
all? Like, or just
counter.
at waste one?
It'll get destroyed. The breaching charge will get destroyed by the electrified bulb or by the electrified wall.
Right.
So, for example, they've just hard breached the
Op
wall
4 has
in the
located
other
a bomb.
objective. So I've smoked it up.
Detonated.
One in the objective on me, two in the objective on me.
Can I break
I'm-
this guy's shield? I can't, can I?
No, you
I
can't.
could not see where the
Friendly
Habana was
last operator
repelled.
standing.
All right, there you
I thought
go.
it was-
This is a great opportunity for you to learn, Ben. Go for it.
Yeah.
You win this.
Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it.
Hey, you
Very
got this.
nice.
I feel it.
Can I get through that? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Repel skylight.
Well,
Oh, bad luck.
the guy with the shield, I'm just like, I don't even know how to deal with the guy with the shield. Literally nothing I have.
Yes, it's true. Especially when you're in a 1 versus 5. Makes it very hard. But, you know, the thing about that shield is he can't actually hurt you at all. So he can just look at you.
Yeah,
So
right.
Yeah.
Try and focus on other people. He can hurt you if he takes down the shield, but then he's exposed.
What was I watching? Must have been like some of the Pro League stuff or something. And there were like people with the electric shield. Oh, someone's. Imagine stealing my Zofia. Okay.
You literally just go in voice chat and ask him. Honestly, it works. Trust me. It works like 50% of the time. Just ask people.
Works at least 50% of the time. All right, this guy. I'm gonna play this guy.
Nice. Good choice. Very good choice.
But yeah, there were like electrified shields and stuff, and people were zapping each other, and I was like, I've missed a lot, haven't I?
Yep.
There's,
That would
there's
be
a
Clash.
can of worms.
Clash on the defense.
Use your drone
She
to
has
locate
the
a bomb.
electric
Yes.
shield.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe
she's
I
terrifying.
should be playing the Clash on the defense to help.
Maybe,
You
dude.
can walk around and give
Drone
call
has
outs to your
located a
teammates for
bomb.
where the players are. So they are now defending the
Your
same
drone has found a
objective
bomb.
that we were defending last round. So basically everything in reverse. I feel like naturally attack is probably more challenging than defense, because defense you can kind of sit
5
there
seconds
and
to
wait
insertion.
for what happens, but attack you're the one who's on the clock. So, a Raven, anything come to mind for you? Is like, what's the
Location
best
and
way to not just get destroyed while trying to attack?
I would say just totally don't be afraid to make mistakes. Especially as you learn, one of the best ways you're going to learn is to make a mistake and realize that's not a great way to do something. So if you think you have like an instinct or like a gut reaction of what you should do, just do it. Don't like think about it twice, just do it. And if it doesn't work, it blows up in your face, well, yeah, and let you know for next time. But you'll never know if it works or not if you don't just do it. I think that's a really important part at the start to be able to just get past some of those early fears.
The benefit of playing video games, right? Like literally, that
I like it.
if
There's no-
it doesn't work, that's fine because it's a video
Yeah.
game and you can try again.
Exactly.
Oof, like me, about to die to someone. I don't know where they are. Oh, in that
I'll
corner.
ping him for you. He's on red ping. I killed him for you,
Thanks. Oh,
and I killed someone else for you. I'm gonna call
On
their
site.
phones. You should
One
hear.
op 4 remaining.
Are you playing the call the phone girl?
I am.
Scanning for electronic devices.
There
Buddy.
you go, Ray.
Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
I could
Go for
hear I could hear the phone buzzing, but I kind of just shot things. I couldn't actually see him.
Very, very nice. I see in chat. Can we get some Rainbow Six casting from Ben Green? That's,
Yeah, the person
lot.
does the things. Look, I could actually make a go of it, and anyone who'd never watched Rainbow Six before would probably think I knew what was going on.
I think it'll work.
Yeah, honestly, if you had a new audience, they'd be like, "Wow, this guy knows what is up." But for everyone else, when I didn't know what the operators were called. Look, to be fair, if I actually had to do it, I'd probably have a like a
Cheat sheet.
picture book thing that I'd make up and just like,
Yeah.
you know, when you're not on camera, you can look down at like your notes, so it's fine. No one will ever know.
Use your drone to locate a bomb.
Yes, I know many people who have done that when trying to learn games. And if I was trying to learn a new game, it's absolutely the first thing I would do.
Your drone has found a bomb.
Yeah,
Look at that.
totally agree.
They're in the same objective again.
It kind
It's
of
so good.
it kind of nods to the
Advise your drone has
the sheer
located a
amount of stuff to
bomb.
learn with Rainbow, right? Because it's not even just the operator names; it's then their gadgets and like what their
Yeah.
names are and what they do, and then obviously the secondary gadgets like grenades.
And they can
all that
pick,
kind of
right?
stuff.
You know, it's not like every operator goes into every game
10
with the
seconds to
exact
go.
same setup.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Insertion in 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating, but
Proceed
once
to bomb
you,
location
I don't know,
and
I think
defuse it.
I was pretty intimidated at first when I started playing Siege, but once you start to learn things, it feels really good. I think that's the hook for Siege. It's really a great feeling when you start to learn stuff.
Oh, I'm
Things
getting shot
go
by my
well.
teammate. Yeah, I agree. Learn by doing is a great philosophy to have.
What do you reckon the odds are that there's a guy just roaming the CO?
Great question. I killed Castlel.
Cluster charge. Placing cluster charge. Cluster charge active. Cluster charge.
Oh, I didn't get any kills on the cluster
What's
charges.
walk, by the way?
I think it's Alt by default.
Yeah, by default it's alt.
Hold, Alt.
Yeah.
Alright, I need this guy to do something. Okay.
I just got absolutely robbed. And then I got domed.
1 op 4 remaining.
That's all right, my friend.
I don't even know where everyone is.
Op 4
Raven's busy
Randomly
killing them all.
also.
Friendly mission
Oh, too
successful.
easy. Got him. Don't worry about it.
Ah dear.
Oh, so
Yeah.
this map actually used to be in the
Yeah.
It's still in the ranked map pool.
Yes. Yeah, it's still in ranked, but it's no longer in like the esports map pool.
It's good fun. I remember casting this map a lot. Really enjoyed it. Very fun map to cast.
We're on defense again.
Since we're at it, and I see a question in chat, I will say, if you guys do have any questions in chat, similar to Ben, just let us know. We're happy to answer whatever questions you guys have. Firstly, Blue Panda said, is there any advice Ben can give to new casters or people looking to get into casting?
Yeah, I can give lots of advice. I think you can find one or two ways, right? You either
Protect
need
the
to
bombs.
be either work on your ability to talk on camera, or you work on your game knowledge. Ideally both, right? And that's what a very good caster will have. But it's one of those things, I think, where if you can, you know, find a way to just improve your general casting ability, then you're probably going to get a shot, because, to be honest, I don't think there's really that many people trying. If that makes sense. You don't have to compete with that many people, particularly in Australia. You can just, if you put in a little bit of effort, give it a whirl, you can almost always find a place to start. I think the other thing for me is that the benefit is that it's actually really easy to get into. You just need to start doing, and that's always the one for me. People are like, oh, no one ever gives me a shot. But literally in a world where between YouTube and Twitch and whatever, you know what I mean? There's almost always a way to get involved or to learn or to improve.
You guys all right? You're all dying? What is this Echo doing?
Yeah, look, I must admit, I tried to take a fight with my SMG that probably wasn't a fight to take.
Probably wasn't the play.
Yeah, probably wasn't the goal.
It's alright. I'm gonna clutch up because I don't want to lose. Looks like they're trying to
Left side.
reach.
Left side.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is put a proxy alarm above it once it opens. Oh no, I didn't want to throw that yet!
Too early.
My mouse!
Not user error? I think it was user
Last
error.
operator standing.
Use my mouse, mate. 110%.
Skylight. Skylight.
Mission failed.
Oh
All
no!
friendlies were eliminated.
I think top skylight. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea. Well, that was a GG. That was a GG.
Was
He's
a
got the
GG.
skin that I want. He's got the skin that I want. You can't get
Which
it
one?
anymore. 2019 Six Invitational skin.
Oh.
Can't believe
do
you guys let me down.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man.
I'm just gonna blame Dev. It's definitely Dev's fault. Like, look.
Yeah.
He.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
Sorry, boys.
It's just life
Okay.
playing with Dev, you know.
I think the only other thing I'll add to casting, because this is something I don't hear anyone say very often, but I think it is relevant, and particularly for us in the video game world in particular. When I cast or when I host, I'm not necessarily me. I'm playing a character that is theoretically a more interesting, more fun, more confident version of myself. So in the same way that an actor plays a role and plays a character, the character that I play is a version of me that is theoretically better suited to shoutcasting. And I'm not saying don't be yourself or make yourself someone false, but just try and find the things that you're not doing very well, and say, well, I'm not very hype, or I feel a bit nervous or whatever. Try and literally get into a role that is a version of yourself that is a little bit different, a little bit better suited to what it is. And I didn't realize that until I had to do some pieces to camera for something, and the producer was like, hey man, I just need you to be more hype, more excited, more over the top, blah blah blah. And I was like, that's absurd, that's gonna look dumb, but because it was pre-recorded, I was like, whatever, I'll just do it. And I literally just played this version of myself that I was like, I don't like this is not how I normally act. And when I watched it back, it was twice as good as what I'd been doing before. So I think that can at times be a useful thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I was just gonna say about the sometimes where you feel like maybe you don't actually know what you should do or could do to increase your quality, and about going out of your comfort zone. I totally resonate with the idea of playing a character. I definitely feel like I am Raven when I'm doing a lot of stuff within esports, but especially casting. So yeah, I guess it's the same thing for me. Is I feel like I am kind of playing
Your drone has found
somebody
a bomb.
that's not Brandon. That's Raven. Everybody knows me as Raven, and yeah, that definitely makes me feel more comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not about not being yourself. You know what I mean? It's just about being the best camera version of yourself, and it's probably a little bit different to how you act normally. And it's not just being a more shouty version
10
of
seconds to
yourself.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you've just got to play a role.
Insertion in
Like,
5
what
seconds.
am I trying to achieve? Why am I doing this? Because
You've located
as
a
much as
bomb.
I like
Make your
talking,
way
I
to its
assure you
location
that
and defuse it.
it's not in my it's not necessarily my nature to be able to stand in front of, several thousand people on a stage and ad-lib for 3 minutes about something and try and be entertaining. Just gotta. I'm sure there are people who are like that, but I suspect that a lot of people aren't actually, as confident as it looks like they are.
Yeah. Definitely.
You'll drop the
Oh my
diffuser.
gosh. I was so distracted by what happened at the start of that round.
Here's a pro tip, Ben.
I've
Click
got
your
a
middle
shield.
mouse. There you go.
Yeah. I forgot who I was playing because I was talking, and then when he said pro tip, I'm like, hang on, I picked this guy because he's new friendly. This guy's, he's like, quick.
Getting flanked as well.
How close do I need to be to survive? Not sure what he was worried about. Easy.
Down to
Uh-oh.
Wow, I've got a shield, guys.
Oh my goodness. There you go.
He just found the right angle around your shield, I'd say.
Yeah, he shot around your shield 100%. He's got the bolo charm, so
I've seen so many bowler charms lately.
yeah,
So many.
yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I think for me, the number one most important thing when I was like, especially when I was starting, and for like the first year or two of learning how to be an on-screen talent, a commentator, it was really important that I felt confident, and I derived a lot of that confidence from knowing my stuff and making sure that I knew my stuff. So I would be really well researched, and I would put a lot of effort into making sure that I really wanted to, I really knew what I was going to talk about, and I really had the confidence to deliver that, with determination, like with confidence. And that gave me the, oh my god, I've just said the word like 10 times now, but that gave me the confidence
Yeah.
to be like a good camera
And
personality.
if this was, if we were doing a review right now, we'd write down the word confidence, and we'd get you to write down some variants of the word that you could use in its place.
Crutch words.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a really good point, and that's the thing I struggle with the most, I think, because I host or cast or whatever it might be so many games that I just don't know that much about, and it's for any number of reasons, not just because I take roles for the sake of it, but quite often there might only be, and we were talking about this before, like when I did that Rainbow Six thing originally, there just weren't that many people who were really casting Rainbow Six at the time, and it made sense to have someone host the desk who was just used to hosting the desk. So I notice when I do a game that I know much better, it's so much easier because I don't spend half my time working through in my head what I should be saying. I just know what I should be saying. Wow, did they all leave?
One of them left. There is a question in the chat. What's the most underrated trait of being a competent caster or host?
You must recover the diffuser. The diffuser has been secured. Op 4 last operator standing.
It's a good
Bomb has been located.
question. I'm not sure. You could very easily say it's the ability to feel dead air and talk about nothing, right? For a
Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
because you don't necessarily ideally want to be doing that all the time, but it's useful. It's a useful thing to have. Yeah, I also think common sense, to be honest. This sounds really stupid, but just the ability to make the right decision when you are not sure what you should be doing, and to be able to consistently make the right call on a desk or when you're hosting on a stage, when you may not know what the right thing to do is, and to hopefully, just make the right call and be decisive in what you do, so that it looks like whatever you did was the thing that you were supposed to be doing. Because I think, sometimes we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, right? There's not necessarily something's gone wrong, or something's not going how it should do, or for whatever reason.
Protect the bomb.
And then the ability just to go, you know what, I'm going to do this thing because I think it's the right thing to do. And then hopefully that was the right call. What do you guys think? What would be your underrated?
I feel like there's a lot of different things I could say, but
Yep.
the initial ones that come to mind for me are things like, doing your research and, remembering that your most important thing to do is just be entertaining. And yet I think, the ability to be entertaining when there's nothing to talk about, kind of like what you were saying. But after all that, I
Protect your
think
bombs from being defused by
those
Op 4.
aren't really underrated traits in casting. I think those are quite highly rated and very frequently talked about traits. And what I think is more underrated is, I think professionalism, understanding how, all the different elements of a broadcast or a project, and knowing that, the casting isn't the be-all and end-all of it, and, being professional and good to work with. I think that's one of the most underrated things.
It'll get you gigs. Like, if you find yourself a role and you're easy to work with and you can do the job and someone can rely on you, it's just like literally every other facet of life, where being a competent human being and doing the right thing will work in your favor. There are definitely situations where you can get so big that you can kind of do what you want, I suppose, to a degree. And eventually, it'll probably work out for you if you're not awful. I'm totally on the wrong level, aren't I?
Oh my gosh.
But
It's called roaming, bro. You just, that's if, I don't know where I am, just say I'm roaming. It's fine.
yeah, that's all I'm here for. But yeah, I think it's a big one, because it's easy to forget how many other people are working on a program and how many other people behind the scenes are doing this and bring it all together. You know what I mean? That without them, not just you, without them the show doesn't happen. What the heck? Oh, they must have dropped through from upstairs.
Rank
Haha.
25.
A bomb
Very,
located
very
by Op 4.
Nice. Oh, pillars. Rip.
All friendlies were eliminated. Mission
Look, they
failed.
played well. We got smacked about. It's fine. We will come back with a vengeance. A mighty, mighty vengeance.
What I was going to say is what I think is really underrated for a caster is, and I think you briefly touched on it, Ben, is pacing. So I feel like so often I hear a lot of casters, they do feel like they need to fill every bit of airwave with their voice, or a voice in general, and that it always needs to be fast or hype, or I don't know, like a particular level of volume or tone. Whereas I think if you learn really good pacing, so when to say nothing and when to speak slowly and then when to be hype, I think that is a big thing for like T1 casters.
Yeah, 100%. Pacing is super important, and dead air is super important. When we did the ESL talkback thing,
Secure the
whatever
area.
it was,
Keep the bombs protected.
that was the one point for everyone. Like literally every entry had a problem with dead air and with overhyping and with talking. And you would think that in a competition about talking, that would, it shouldn't be the thing. But yeah, that was the massive problem. Everyone just hyped and talked the whole time. And to be fair, and I said that at the time, that I thought it was probably because everyone was solo casting, and you kind of you feel obligated, I
5 seconds to
suppose.
insertion.
But yeah, that's a big one.
Op 4
Do I
has
shoot all of
located
these?
bomb.
Yeah, okay.
You will be detected if you remain in this area. Your location has been compromised.
I'm gonna die. Ah! I made it. Terrifying.
making a play, my friends.
Oh, I love it. Do it.
Never mind. I almost died trying to make a play. You want? I'll play the big shieldy girl, and I can call out for you. All right?
Hey, turn around.
If you remain
Turn
in
around.
this zone,
Does this
you will
work?
be detected by hostiles. You will be spotted.
No.
Oh.
That would be cool though. But no, it just bounces off the shield. All right, they're coming from towards the direction of my pin.
Okay.
They've destroyed the hatches on the roof.
Yep.
Please stay behind me.
I don't know where. I'm just throwing cameras. Oh, there you go. Yep.
They've droned me, so they know I'm here.
Yep.
I don't know whether they saw you. It might be on that window on the
Oh, yep.
west.
You have been spotted.
It means they're
Your
scanning us on
identity
the
has been
drones.
compromised.
Getting trackled. Probably
If
out
you
on the
get
balcony.
spotted, it's a good idea to move. Try and yep, there's one on the window right on here.
Yep. What does my G do?
Ooh, you have a shield. You can put that shield down if you want. Ooh, on that window.
Oh,
I am getting absolutely terrorized.
I got shot from inside. Behind us?
You have entered enemy controlled area.
He was waiting for my jump out.
Friendly, last operator standing.
Oh my goodness! I had every language covered.
Failure.
Wow, they were good. They were very organized. Look at this.
That was very organized.
Just waiting for me. Yeah, no, I agree with that sentiment. I think that, yeah, pacing is a very valuable thing to have in casting and presenting in general, I think. What rank are you guys? Says someone in the YouTube chat. I am Plat 2. I think Raven is Plat 3. And Ben is level 10 and has never played ranked before.
I'm level 11, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
I must have leveled up during our games tonight.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Would you believe that nearly 10% of your total Rainbow Six gameplay has been with us? Isn't that special?
What a crazy world we live in. Need to find what that operator was.
Which one? The one you were just playing?
The one that I originally wanted to play. But all right, so hang on.
Do you remember what was unique about them?
They had a gold SMG.
A gold SMG.
Yeah. All right, it's okay. We'll work it out. We'll get there. I don't know why I had a gold SMG, but I did.
Okay.
We are okay. They were a defender. I've worked that out.
Okay.
I can go back. How do I know which one to pick, by the way? Which spawn location should I pick?
It very much depends on the map. I reckon construction site is a good one on this map.
It's my go-to.
All right.
Yeah.
So just wait for everyone else to pick, and then.
When you're starting out, yes, spawn where other people spawn.
Yes, but yeah, construction on this map is great because it's safe as soon as you spawn. You can move to safe positions as well to shoot default cameras, and there's no real good spawn peaks for the defenders to use, so it allows you to just kind of get started and have like just a good base. Whereas if some of the other spawns here, as soon as you try to move out, there's some locations where the defenders will have good angles to you, so it can be a bit tricky.
I think that's one of the hardest things for new players, and I don't know if you've experienced this, Ben, very much, but if the defenders spawn peak and you get taken out right at the start of the round, and you have no idea where you died from, you have to sit out the rest of the round. I think that's one of the most frustrating things. So learning how to not get spawn peaked and safe passageways to go from the spawn to the building is, it's really important.
Be advised your drone has located a bomb.
Another question for Ben in the chat. What is your most memorable esports moment?
My most memorable
10 seconds
esports
before
moment.
insertion.
I probably have a few. Like hosting the
5
Fortnite
seconds to go.
stuff at the Australian Open was pretty cool. Because it was, a massive
The bomb
Aussie
location and defuse it.
sporting event. Doing like Crossfire in China, which probably no one here has heard of, unless you have, but not many people have. It's funnily enough one of the biggest shooters in the world, massive in China, and that's doing those the world finals for a game that I've never even cast before. Funnily enough, because I think at the time Matt Andrews was unavailable, so they went for the next best thing, which was me. And it was it's literally the most massive stage I've ever seen for esports. It was insane. The whole thing was just like LEDs everywhere. It was crazy. And then I think doing contenders finals at Mio and Rod Laver Arena was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, really awesome to see traditional sporting venues for esports. That's really cool. Like Margaret Court Arena, Rod Laver Arena, Kudos Bank Arena.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Not trying to plug Jordan's YouTube channel, but I really enjoyed the episode you appeared on in retrospect, where you talked about your entire careers. One of the most enjoyable podcasts I listened to in a very long time. Really cool to hear about
some good content. He stole that idea from me, by the way, before Ian Sniper Turner turned CSGO Pro into Thingo. I did like a 90-minute interview with him back in the day. That was I don't know what it was called, but it was literally that, where we went through his whole life. But Jordan's better than me because he's better at the research. So he gave me a document of all of my stuff. I'm like, I don't remember half of this.
Yeah.
But that sounds right. I don't know, where did you get all this information from?
Jordan's pretty amazing.
He does do it. Jordan is very research heavy in his casting, which certainly helps him, I think, do a good job, right? That's when you can rely on your knowledge, which is what you were talking about before, Dev. Having that knowledge and having done the research, he's very big into that. And it shows, right? That he knows that. But yeah, doing going to sporting venues, going to traditional sporting events, or even the stuff with IM has all been pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah, IEM's been the biggest esports event I've ever been to, and I mean, it's pretty amazing when you see tens of thousands of people in an arena cheering so loudly for video games.
And it's important for getting business on board, because for me, esports is one of those things where you can't necessarily sell it to someone if they haven't seen it, and maybe eventually the numbers get so big that they just buy it face value. You can show people videos, but if you've got someone, I'm just going to throw it. You got a 65-year-old guy who is the head of something at somewhere, and he has no interest in esports. And someone from his team, wants to invest into esports, and this is the person who needs to make that call about whether they're going to spend X amount of money on it. You need to get them to an event, and if you get them to an event like I am, I'm dead. And I don't know where I died from. I'm getting used to this. Oh, he put a hole in a door and he shot me. Cool. Then they may not understand the game still, right? But they understand that for the people there, it looks and feels like what sport feels to that person, and then they get it. And it is one of those things where if we don't get these big events, then you honestly just won't get as much money into the local scene. You need to bring these people to the events, which is why the suites and stuff, and business VIPs and things like that sound blah 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 blah. But it's super important for the scene to get these people in, the decision makers, to events so they can see what the heck is going on, right? And then hopefully give the scene money, whether that's teams or to esports organizers or whatever it might be. It's important.
Look, I feel like that was a really big thing for me to being able to tell my family that I was going to an esports event that was going to be at like Rod Laver and Margaret Court Arena. Like for my dad, that's a really big sports person, but couldn't wrap his head around esports. When he heard that and then was able to see what happened at those events, it definitely helped it sink in for him a bit more. So yeah, you're right. It really is a really big way to bridge the gap to people that don't quite have their head around the size of esports. Yeah,
they may not get it,
Secure the
but
bombs.
they can appreciate it more. And I think even recently where, sports codes or whatever have been unable to do their traditional stuff, even seeing supercars do like their E-Series and have it on TV. People who might be into motorsport will see that and they'll go, oh, okay, well, like it's not obviously not the same as Rainbow Six, but maybe they can appreciate that something in the digital realm
10 seconds remaining.
still has relevance, just even though they didn't think it did before.
5 seconds.
And that's for me a big one. I never use any of my stuff. What is my middle mouse button?
Get ready to engage.
What is that?
Throw in little holograms of yourself.
That'll get them.
We'll get them. It's very cool. If someone shoots it on the enemy team, then you get a little red ping on them.
So yeah, those big events are they're more than just awesome things for us, the people who actually love esports. It's super important for the scene, and it helps us grow, helps every game grow. It's not just about the titles that are there necessarily.
Red stairs, Steph.
Yeah.
I think the guy near me died.
Yeah. There's one too like around the corner for me.
I got one bad guy.
I tried to bounce my grenade off the wall, but I
Op 4 has
can't
located a
assume.
bomb. You know what to do.
I got shot from behind.
I got them.
They're New Bridge, Dev. New Bridge and Breach. Black Beats is in the hallway!
Operator standing.
That was terrifying.
Wait a second. I'm the only one left!
Yep.
If you remain in this zone, you will be detected by. You have been spotted by hostiles. Fall
Oh,
back.
they'll never know. They'll never know, dude.
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
I was hunted down.
We're hunted down.
Trapped. Honestly, I should have just run off the side of the building. There's a lot of questions in here. I don't know. Have we covered Sky's one? I don't think we have yet. Oh no, sorry, we haven't even covered Cthulhu's one above that. Last thing we did was memorable esports moment. Cthulhu asked, "What's the most impromptu event, Ben, that you ever had to host / cast and learn on the go?"
I think the pack stage is always like that. Because the pack stage is like, it might be 6 different titles across the weekend. And then you're trying to host 6 different titles, right? There's definitely games that like I've gone out and you there are games where you can't have even played the game yet. What did I must have cast something where you couldn't even play it. There was no way to play it. There was no, I hosted Minecraft at the Sydney Opera House. And it was me on stage by myself for slots of 4 hours where I literally had to introduce and shoutcast Minecraft mini battles or something, and it was literally like a battle royale for like 8 to 12 players in a Minecraft dungeon or something like that, and there was literally no information on it. No one had done this, and it was at the Opera House, and I had to do it 3 times in a row, 4 hours each go.
Keep an eye out
So
for
that
Op
was
4 attempting
that
to
was pretty
defuse your
rough,
bombs.
because shoutcasting by yourself for 4 hours is pretty hard. I'm sure you guys could appreciate that. Could be rough.
That's a long time solo.
Yeah, and I just didn't know, like, there was just no information on it anywhere. Like there was nothing I could have done. So I ended up watching this guy called Stampy Cat. I don't know. He does YouTube videos, and he had like one 5-minute video about this game mode, and that was it. And that's what I had to go on. So it was, yeah, that was pretty rough. But PAX was always kind of tough too. A lot of the time, if they're new games that aren't out yet, or they're in beta or whatever, and you're trying to cast based off, hey guys, we're going to run you through the game 30 minutes before we do the broadcast. This is the thing. This is how you do this. This is how you whatever. And you're just trying to, you know, keep it entertaining and slightly relevant. Yeah, so that's kind of rough. I am at times quite jealous of you guys who do a single title or 2 titles, or get to do your main title and be good at it.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, it kind of goes back to like what I was saying. Like I feel the most confident when I know my stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, if you have the luxury, I guess, to do that, to just do less titles, it's easier to know your stuff.
Yeah, I wish I did that, and it's not. I guess I've only got myself to blame, but it's not really blame. It's just that's the role, right? That's what I do. So
it's very difficult to just do one game and make it a career. There aren't very many casters in Australia, especially, who can do that. Most are either studying, or they have a day job outside of esports, or they have a job inside of esports, such as, I guess, both of you guys. You know, you're not exclusively casting. The majority of your job is not casting.
Yeah. Majority of my job is working, trying to hopefully get more events.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do both, though, at times.
So we're still playing catch up from questions from 8 minutes ago, but Sky asked something that kind of goes along with what you were talking about earlier, Ben, about what you thought was the most underrated thing about casting. Sky asked, are there any individuals that you're aware of that use this tactic in terms of act more as a character, or as a more energized version of themselves? Are there any individuals that you're aware of that use that tactic, as well as putting on another accent or trying to neutralize their accent? Is that something that you have in mind?
I don't know. Like I'm just gonna. So I don't know if this is correct or not. But for example, and this isn't casting related, but Barjo, for example, I don't think, like, Barjo is a very energetic guy, and
Yep.
you know what I mean. I don't imagine that Barjo is like that when he's sitting on the couch, you know, having a cup of tea or something.
Yeah.
And if he is, then that's incredible. But you know, he was a presenter on TV, so he you know, I would imagine that he's playing this character as Barjo when he's streaming, when he's whatever. And I think streamers do it anyway, right? You like, if you just sit there as yourself, not many people are good enough to sit there as themselves and be entertaining. Most people need to play a character and engage with people in a different way than they normally would, and you know, keep it entertaining in that regard. And I'm sure there are some people who get to be themselves. Like Shroud's probably just himself. You know what I mean? But not everyone gets to do that. Hang on, I can get up here, can't I? Oh yeah, I'm so good. In relation to how do I get in here?
Did you go to propel in with space bar?
Yeah, I worked it out. We got there. Dunker. In relation to accent, I certainly think that I've got obviously quite a strong Australian accent, and I think that would impact me in a negative way for some events. And I'm sure there are some events I haven't got because of the way that I sound, and I could have chosen to work on having a to saying things in a slightly different way, and I probably should have, but that wasn't necessarily, like, I didn't really think I was ever going to. Okay, I'm gonna play. Where am I going? Downstairs, upstairs.
Down the stairs. Now, care for that doorway, but there's a little hallway to the left of that doorway.
I
There,
can tell
yeah.
you he's in the lockers, which is basically where the diffuser is right now. It's 24
Where it
meters
says
away.
pick up.
Can I go?
Sorry.
Can I look that way or no?
Yeah, there's a hallway down here. Yeah. You can also lean with Q and E.
Yeah, Q and E and Alt. That's just a lot of buttons. And WASD.
So he's very near where it says pick up.
What do these do?
They catch grenades.
He's starting to push towards you from your doorway. Yep. Close
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, if you just
So on-
watch the doorway across the hallway, through this doorway, and then the doorway across the hallway. No, to your right. Yeah, through this doorway. Oh, yeah, near the red dot. He was to the right in there.
It's going to hear me in that, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
That go
we
anywhere?
lost info. We lost info, so I'm not sure where he went. Blanking.
Careful to your right. He might have gone down the ladder.
What's in there? Wait, I thought I was
outside.
near it.
Side, you got to jump out the window behind you to go grab it.
There.
Yeah. He can't be outside because he's a
The
defender.
diffuser has been recovered.
That's one thing.
I got 20 seconds to get back in here and in there to this. It's going to be
15 seconds
You just
remaining.
plant right here.
10 seconds left. Diffuser is active.
Oh,
Protected
bad
at all
luck.
costs.
I thought you
I
were
could
gonna
have
go
gone
with
all the way through, but like to be honest, it was probably a bad spot to plant because then you get dumb from both sides. But
True, yeah.
anyway,
The diffuser has
Nice,
been
dude.
disabled. Mission is a
Good
failure.
effort, good effort.
But yeah. Look, I think there's a lot. I also think there's a lot that commentators don't do, and there's a lot of work that they don't do that they can do. You can do take voice coaching, you can take acting classes, you can do improv, you can do all these things that will actually help you. I think that like learning how to enunciate and learning how to, work off a script and do all those sorts of things that I think a lot of commentators just skip and go straight into talking about video games, which I understand at the start makes sense. But if you actually want to do it as a living and go and do it somewhere else, just want to give yourself the best chance. And I think that there's a lot that can be learned from doing those sorts of things. Enunciation is a big one. I quite often will enunciate poorly at the beginning of the day because I haven't warmed up, and it's always, I think I said this on the talkback videos, it's always the word Australia. Like even there, I was like Australia, that's probably not how I should say it.
So it's not Straya?
Yeah, exactly. So like I will go back, and if I watch the opening of the first Fortnite Summer Smash event, and I watch what I said there, like my opening, the actual things that I say are quite good. But the way in which I say some of it, like I'm just too fast. Partly because I'm nervous, partly because I don't have that much time to work towards, and I'm trying to lay out the groundwork and all the reasons why we're doing this thing. And if I'd said it slower, it probably would have sounded better. But that's not what I did. So it's definitely okay. I just wish it was better.
Yeah, I totally agree that, getting fundamental skills that are perhaps more usually regarded with other professions like acting classes, elocution, or enunciation, and there are other professions where this is just regarded as standard fare. You learn this, you take classes, you learn from an expert.
Yep.
Even I come from a singing background where I did singing lessons from when I was a kid, and even that you'd think that wouldn't have much of an
Secure
impact
the
on
area,
casting,
keep
but
the bombs
there
protected.
is so much about casting that I think that my singing experience has helped me with. And imagine if it was acting. Like you look at someone like Danny Kim, and his acting experience I think really does shine when it comes to being an entertaining personality on the screen.
Yeah, DK gets a lot from that, I think. And I think people believe that shoutcasting is difficult to get into, and there's a lot of hurdles and blah, which is just a load of rubbish. Like there are so you got compare it to something like acting, right? A number of actors who just never get to do anything, and they take all these acting classes and they do all this work, and it just never works out in their favor. If you were to put the same amount of effort into commentating a video game that those people put into that, you would succeed. It's just that you may not get paid the same as a successful actor. So, you know, not saying that you should, but when the majority of people aren't doing that work, there's definitely room for someone who does do that work to succeed.
Yeah, I definitely want to mention with devs talking about singing lessons. I also had a bit of singing lessons back in the day, but I never thought how much like the breathing that you do from singing would help with casting. And I know initially when I first started casting, I didn't make that connection. I started to get a sore throat after like an hour or 2 hours of a broadcast. But then it clicked for me.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do it. I never learned it. So that's what I'm saying. You do these things, you gain these skills, and you have advantage over people who have not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
What other questions in here? Chambo asked me if I miss casting ANZ. I do miss casting ANZ, and I really hope that I'll get able to cast more in future, but that's why I'm glad that I get to do stuff like this. The ANZ community. Cthulhu asked, hard work over smart work, which is better, and how does one work smarter in casting? That's a really good question.
What do you guys think? Because I'm not sure. What is your
I
thoughts
would
on this?
say it's more about smart. I think in most cases, I would always say smart work trumps hard work because, for me, hard work is about like hours you put in, and you could put in like 40 hours into something. But if you only do one thing, or maybe even the one thing you do is wrong, that's just 40 hours of not great training. So I think it's always important to know, like really think about what you're doing and what you want to try and achieve, and like work smartly to that goal. So all these things that we've talked about, like maybe learning some of those other skills. So singing, breathing, and improv, like you said, I think is a great one. I know I learned a lot by just watching a lot of poetry slam videos and practicing reading poetry. That helped me quite a bit with like the way to like describe things. So I think a lot of it is about working smart and thinking about like what skills you're trying to learn, and not just straight up grinding casting.
Down to 10 seconds.
Working on those as like individual things, just like how an athlete wouldn't go to the gym and just do deadlifts and be like, oh yeah, I'm ready for a football match or whatever. They work on all their muscle
your
groups.
bombs from being defused by Op 4.
Yeah, I think the easy answer is that it's a balance, right? But everything is, right? Everything's a balance of two extremes, you know, hard work or smart work. You can't just be smart and put in almost no effort. That's just not going to work. But at the same time, yeah, if you just keep banging your head against the wall, you're not going to get anywhere. So yeah, it's definitely a mixture of both of those things. Oh, I just got rushed.
Where from?
I was on the camera. On the balcony, the west balcony. What I think is important is to try to.
You have entered an enemy
It's very similar to what we've been talking about, right? Learn these skills that are fundamental and regarded, especially in things that are from other professions, like you were saying, Raven. Whether it's your breathing or all these other things that we've already talked about. Don't just go in and start just casting. You need to do your research. And why do you do that research? There's no point in doing, 100 hours of research for one game that you're just going to do on one night that isn't even a big game, and it's probably not going to get that many viewers, or it's not the most important game for you to work on. Prioritize, right? And so I definitely think it's a mixture of smart and hard work. But yeah, there's no easy answer. There's a big shieldy boy.
Oh, this is my chance.
This Ella knows what's up.
Hearing a lot of breach charges go off, but I'm not seeing where.
I really do not know where, because they have not breached the detention walls, and I have a waiting room camera. And I haven't seen anything on that yet.
Hey, Deb
Yeah.
and Raven, it'd be good if you guys could get a kill, please.
I just looked at the squad for the first
wrong.
time. Yeah, you ain't wrong. Look,
I think you're both right. There's no secret way to get good, and you still definitely need to put in the hard yards, right? But
last one's a shield. Rush him, Raven. Get a free kill.
there's also no point.
Friendly victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
Lol. There's also no point casting 40 hours a week of Counter-Strike or of Rainbow Six or whatever, and not getting any feedback.
Oh,
Like, that's just pointless. Just pointless.
I think it's really important to get mentors and people who can objectively look at your work, and it's not always just like, you know, your best mate who you know will always take your side, right?
Yeah.
They're not always the best people to talk to. Sometimes it's someone who can be really objective. A lot of the things that we've talked about, like you even kind of mentioned it earlier, Ben, with how I said confident like 5 times in a row. I really remember in the early days working with Jordan, who was helping workshop myself and the other talent that were doing Rainbow Six at the time. And he pointed out, he would just say, you know, your crutch word is, what was it? You know. I would always say, you know. It was like a little way to hedge, kind of beat around the bush a bit rather than seeming like I'm, you know, slapping this down on the table and saying this is how it is. I would just slot you know in there all the time. It would also just be a fill. If I didn't know what to say, I would say, you know, give myself an extra second to think of what to say next. And so we would watch a match that I was casting together, and Jordan would just, every time he would pause it and say, you know, and then press play again. And really nailed it into me.
And some people can't deal with that, or they'll be like, oh, because I will pick things up on people's casting, and there are things that I am also bad at, and sometimes I think people are kind of like, well, why are you picking me up on it if you do it as well? Like, well,
Drone has found a bomb.
I'm not going
5
to
seconds to go.
I'm not going to make a living shoutcasting. That's not my main job. That's not what I'm aiming for.
Make your way to its location
Like, if
and
that's
defuse
where you're trying to get to, then you should be better than me in the end. Just because I can't do it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to do it if that's what your goal is. If you want to stop here, and that's fine, easy, don't worry about it. But if you want to progress, then learn the things.
Yeah, there is one waiting, by the way. He's in bottom east. I
Got him.
think.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry, Ben. I still don't have a kill. My
Yeah,
bad.
can you guys please get good?
Raven's helping me right now, at least.
Wait, I probably shouldn't go. Where's the sites are up here?
The site's downstairs. No
Oh,
longer
it looked like it was upstairs. Well, now the diffuser's upstairs. So,
Raven's got your back, buddy. Oh, the camera's up.
Oh, getting ran out on.
They are dedicated, these guys. Dedicated to the cause.
and I think there's no point to be defensive about your commentary because you're literally going to make mistakes. You're talking about
One
something
friendly operator
continuously for hours at a time. There are things that you can do better because you're not a machine.
All friendly.
So getting that feedback and having a lot of feedback. I remember asking Uber to do a VOD review for me once. By the way, he never did it, even though he said he would. Just putting that out there. Maybe I need to to pay him on. I saw that he was on Cameo, $15 for a shout out. Anyway, I'm giving him a hard time, but anyway, he was like, "No worries, man. Give me your best map, and I'll give you 5 pages of notes on it." You know what I mean? And that's sort of how he saw it. And it should be. It's not about like you want someone to tell you why you're bad.
Yeah.
Because then you can fix those things. So there's no point being defensive about feedback.
Yeah, if you go into if you ask someone for feedback, and then when they give you a piece of feedback, and your response is to blame that on something, or to say, oh no, that was because of this,
Use your drone to locate a bomb.
then you're restricting yourself from being able to improve. And
Yeah.
it's good to acknowledge factors. For example, I did 5 weeks straight of 4 broadcasts a night doing EU and APAC, where it was one of them started at 7 p.m. and one of them started at 2 a.m. So it's just all in the middle of the night. It's very hard.
Be advised your drone has located a bomb.
There were days there where I would get the end of the night and I'm like, well, I'm not going to VOD review that one. It was terrible, but I know it was terrible because I was really
10
tired
seconds
and I
before
was
insertion.
not in a good place mentally and emotionally, and that was the cause of it being poor. I'd rather focus on a different cast that I know I did other things badly in,
You've
because I
located a
think
bomb.
it's more
Make your
realistic
way
to
its
focus on
location
that.
and defuse it.
And then if I want to improve at the things that went really wrong on the other cast, it'll just be trying to keep my mental health good, trying to keep a positive mindset and try to make sure I'm well rested and healthy. And that's what's going to make the difference there. There's no point analyzing a cast when there's external factors. So it's about not making excuses, but
Oh my
understanding
God.
the difference.
Scared the crap out of me, sorry. Yeah, sorry to cut you off with that, but yes, I tend to do the same. There was one time that I was in Sydney for something else, and I got called into cast last minute, and I know there was one map there where my head was just totally in outer space. And it was just because I was totally flustered. I wasn't ready for casting. I didn't have my usual I don't know, mental prep done, that kind of thing. And yeah, I was the same. I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to watch that map back because I was just totally scatterbrained. And I think that's also okay, but you can't give yourself too many excuses either. Sometimes there are things you will repeatedly do wrong, and you do have to be willing to take the feedback on that or be critical of yourself to the point where you're actually trying to improve it.
And you're still going to do something about it, right? If you had a terrible cast that you're kind of writing off because you were tired, well, you're still going to do something about that, right? You're going to make sure that you get a better sleep. You're going to prioritize your mental health or whatever was the cause of that. But there's no point saying, the most important thing to work on is your hype, when the only reason that was a problem was because of you were tired or something. I know, it's very...
I think there's been some more questions too, by the way, in chat starting to stack up, so let me just have a suss.
All right. Mr. Banana, I have a question. I've been playing Siege for a while now and have a good understanding of the game. I've always wanted to give casting a shot, however, I'm not sure where to begin. How can I be an engaging and informative caster? And what things can I do to improve when I start? That's a really good one. I think the short answer is, how do you start casting? Start casting. Literally just, if you have a computer that can run a streaming software, find matches, join the community, find a match that you can cast, an amateur league or whatever, get approval, permission to broadcast the match, and just try it out and work from there. But that is step one, and you can't get ahead of yourself before you do step one.
Yeah. On top of that,
my
I'll
first
say,
cast was pre-recorded onto YouTube because I couldn't stream. And even if you can't find games to cast, literally go onto YouTube, find games, turn off the sound, and shoutcast it.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, that was my first cast as well. I just found a game I hadn't watched yet, muted it, and just, recorded myself casting over it.
Yeah. I think everything comes after that. Everything else comes after that, but that is the most important thing. I'll pack apart the rest of the question. How can I be engaging and informative? To be engaging, there's a whole lot of things. I think what's really important is have fun. Be energetic. Be passionate if you are, and obviously you want to be honest, right? You're not going to fake passion. If you don't care about the game, maybe you shouldn't be casting, right? But if you want to be engaging, passion is engaging. And then, of course, the things like have good eye contact with the camera if you're talking to the audience, have project your voice well. How can you be informative? Learn the game. Watch other broadcasts, play the game, try to learn how the teams play it, and work from there.
Yep, totally agree. There's a question in chat too about comms and callouts to newcomers. We've just been talking a lot about casting, so maybe this is a chance to bring it back to a new player thing here.
Yeah, I've been feeling real bad actually because I've just been dying and like I don't even know what to ask, and none of what we're talking about is relevant to learning how to pay seat.
It's totally fine. It's been great content for people that want to learn to cast. But yeah, look, comms and callouts, I think, is a tough thing for newcomers. I don't know, Dev, do you have some newcomer tips for callouts or comms in general?
Sounds a bit obvious, but start communicating. Step one, you're in a casual match. If you don't know the name of a room, just give it your best shot, right? If you say, he was where I died, that's better than nothing, right? Obviously, you want to get to the point where you know the name of the room so you can say, there was one enemy in office. But if you don't know that yet, just start trying to communicate, being as communicative as possible. In the new patch, Ping 2.0 is going to be introduced, and that will make communicating a little bit easier. You can actually ping gadgets and locations using your drone. So even if you just say you ping a gadget and you say, there's a gadget on ping, or if you know that it's a trap, you say, there's a trap on ping. Use your in-game mic. You can go into the push settings option, find push to talk, make sure it's bound to something convenient. And I think that's step one. And then for callouts, well, of course, callouts, what's really important is that you have the same callouts as other people that you're playing with so that they actually understand what you mean. For that, you can maybe play with a regular group and start to talk with them about what they call different rooms. Watching broadcasts like Pro League and different broadcasts also can help with that. This guy is playing music over his microphone.
Yep. That was
I
quick
don't know where that was coming from. I was so confused. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, yes. Use the compass in game.
Need to use your
Something
drone to
that
locate a
because
bomb.
there's a decent number of things to worry about when you're playing Rainbow. A lot of people might not realize if you look at the bottom of your screen, there is a compass which says northeast, southwest, and there's also it tells you the name of the room that you're currently in. Now, players don't always use the exact same room call out that is listed on the compass, but the compass call out's a good starting point. So if in doubt, just say that.
Yeah, totally agree. There's nothing wrong with saying the compass call out. If somebody doesn't know the compass call out, then
10 seconds to insertion.
I mean, that's kind of on them. But yeah, there's other ways to learn the call outs
5
if you're
seconds.
really dedicated to it. And that's just like going in
Advise
a
your
custom
drone has
game,
located a
a
bomb.
local one,
You've
and
located
running
a
around
bomb.
yourself,
Make your way
or
to
like
its location
training
and defuse
grounds.
it.
And then every time you walk into a room, paying attention to what it's called in the compass. That's always great too. But yeah, it takes time. So I would just say also make sure you have a lot of patience because there's a lot of maps to learn and there's a lot of callouts on those maps. It's not going to happen fast.
Air trap is ready.
I agree. I'm playing another map. Never played it yet. Can always be tough.
Swapping mags! Tracks deployed. Flashbang out. Gadget. Hey, put the device back. Track sting is active.
Oh, I got
You
stunned.
must recover the diffuser.
I
jeez.
incredibly confused and did not know where I was.
Op
Oh,
4 last
Ben!
operator
Did anyone else get a triple?
Down to one friendly.
Nope, just you.
He was near the stairs, the best stairs.
guy doesn't lose.
Oh, oh. Oh, he hit into the wall. You could hear the sound of the impact.
Oh. Don't have much info either.
The diffuser has been recovered.
That music's so loud.
It kind of reduces the intensity a little bit, doesn't it?
A little bit.
This guy's making me dizzy.
But he gets results. At least I'd like to think he does. I hope he does. Surely he does, after all this. No. The other guy's just telling everyone where he is. Surely this is a plant.
He's been spotted. I think he's gonna die.
Oh no, behind you! It's gotta start planning.
15 seconds left.
There's no time.
10
This
seconds.
guy peeks now. Oh.
Four eliminated
Who
all
even
friendlies.
peeks that? I don't understand why.
I think he was he was trying to bait that he was planning, but obviously the Ella would have heard if he was planning. So
Anyway,
yeah. Well, it was a good effort. Well, it was no Ben Green move, but
I was going to say, if everyone got 3 kills, we would have been fine.
All right, I'll work on that for this time.
There's a question in chat about the old sledge hot breaching. That's still a thing, right, Dev? Remember that trick?
How's that work? Never done that before.
It was like if someone places a breach charge on the window and then you go as sledge, it gives you the prompt, and as you're rappelling in, you sledge the window as
That is
opposed to blow the
awesome.
breach charge.
I did not know that was a thing. We don't have any
You
breach.
don't know about that? Ah, okay.
I've literally never seen that before.
Seriously? Oh, okay. I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but
That is very cool if you can do that.
it's definitely something you used to be able to do.
Need to use your drone to
I've
locate a
actually
bomb.
never heard of that before. That is a very cool idea. It's not solid, but, like it still has the sound of it breaking, right?
Yeah,
It's just not.
yeah. You don't get the explosion, but you get the window breaking. That's pretty much it.
I like the sound of it. I do. I would try it this round if I had breaches, but I don't. So we'll have to give it a crack later. Maybe if we hit overtime.
You got a barrel hook there, so
I do. Well, you could repel in when I destroy the. Oh no, you can't do that anymore. Never mind. Never mind.
yeah.
5 seconds to go.
I have a big metal Tachenka turret, man.
Do they? Oh.
Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it.
I'm gonna try and.
Gonna spawn peek,
Reloading!
Do I have permission to yeet?
sure. Eat away.
I will yeet in due time. When it is safe to yeet.
Never safe to eat.
It's true, it's never safe to yeet.
Oh my gosh, I just potatoed so bad. This Oryx just totally swung on me.
You have located a bomb.
No!
Friendly last
It's
operator
definitely not
standing.
safe to
You
yeet.
must recover the diffuser.
You guys,
Oh my gosh.
did you know there's fall damage in this game?
There is
I
full
think I
damage.
can stand back up.
You're just lucky you're Sophia.
Yeah. How do I pick this up?
You have to just walk off it for a sec, because walk off it and then walk back on.
The diffuser has been recovered.
With my 5 HP.
There you go.
Is this open?
No, you cannot open that one.
This map is a really good advertisement for people who make shutters.
Indestructible. That one, yes, that one will open. There you go.
There's no way this is going to go wrong. I've only got 3 levels to go up, and I'll see you soon.
You got 2 minutes though, so plenty of time.
How do I even get out of here?
The doorway will help. It's only a 1 vs 5, so you're fine.
Top of your stairs. Boom.
Do you think they know I'm here?
Nah,
Potentially.
dude, you're stealthy.
Look at them lasers. Well,
Oh. Missed. If you literally just wait, surely they're gonna walk right into you.
look at this. I can like do that.
Oh,
Boom.
oh,
Right there.
cheeky.
Boom. 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 Oh, look at that. Ready?
He's
Where are
making-
they?
This guy on our team is just calling out your position too.
Yeah. He's salty. I don't know why he's so salty.
For some reason.
Well, for new players, in case somebody is griefing, I can show you what to do.
You can report them.
I still think I'm gonna win this. I don't know what his problem is.
Yeah, I don't know why he's doing this.
Oh,
Wow.
fuck. That hole. You were looking at for so long. Oh.
Patience, they say. Well, all we got to do is win 2 defenses. Easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
If literally anyone on our team other than me wants to get a kill, that would be 12.
Yeah, legit. Jeepers.
Look, I'm working on it.
What happened to the other one that died then? Because they have 4 deaths, but did they team kill? In round 1?
No, they didn't. The last guy didn't die in round 1. Remember?
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
our teammate
But
didn't.
I've only got 3 kills. And no one else has kills.
That's a good point.
Like
Must have
I'm
been
not
team
a
kill.
siege expert, but I can math.
See, actually, funny fact is Dev can't math, so this just demonstrated that perfectly.
Just me. Why just
Do you want to
me?
put it into a spreadsheet?
I'm good with spreadsheets. I can do spreadsheets. Yeah, it also could be if one of our
Secure the area, keep
teammates
the bombs
got the kill and
protected.
then left the game, and then we had a different teammate join.
Right.
But we've all had 2 deaths, so
Op
that's
4
not the
has
case.
located a bomb. Plan your defenses accordingly.
That's a good point.
Alright, there's definitely some questions stacking up as well. I saw some already. Yeah, I will have to scroll back.
If there was an operator you could marry, who would it be?
Carly. I don't have to think about it.
You didn't even have to think about it.
Definitely Carly.
Yeah, you have an unhealthy obsession with Carly.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to engage. If you remain in this zone, you will be detected by hostiles. Your location has been compromised.
Oh, I did get him.
All right, someone other than you has a kill now, Ben. There
I'm
you
very
go.
proud of you
You
all.
have entered an enemy-controlled area.
I mean,
And
don't
by
be
you
proud.
all, I mean
You've been
Raven.
spotted by hostiles. Fall back.
Yeah, definitely don't be proud of Speed Dealer.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be proud of him ever, so.
He's got quite a name, doesn't he? Alright, I have a setup. We cannot possibly fail. I have a setup. I have a strat, as they say.
Well, I'm being flashed on the stairs with the blue thing.
I'm flashed as well.
Oh, I'm dead.
No, no, you're not today. What do we say? The god of death.
Give me 20 health back.
That's exactly it.
You will be detected if you remain in this area.
Right, so
That's diffuser outside.
Let's go,
oh, someone right here at this door. No, found him. So the stealth revive is suboptimal to someone else reviving you.
I got flanked coming from games.
Op 4, last operator standing.
Which one killed you? The one I killed?
Yeah, you got him.
Last one's the Carly then.
Op
All right.
Hey.
That does the trick. It's not GG. Why is this guy saying GG? GR. There you go. Good round. That's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Nice.
Where were these questions that I missed, Raven? Because
I just saw chat moving and I saw a couple of question marks, but I think a lot of them came in that which operator could you marry question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Who want to play? I'm just gonna play Rook again. That was fun. There was another question there though, I think. Right? No, so when is Ben's first ANZ R6 cast?
Great question.
Look, you guys would love it, to be honest. The community would be like, this guy knows what is up.
Yeah. One time, this guy got 3 kills in a match.
Yeah.
One time, I remember. Pretty high accreditations there.
Look, I wouldn't mind casting Siege,
Secure the bomb.
but it's an interesting one, right? Because Monte Cristo's always like, you don't have to play games to cast them.
Op 4
And
located a bomb. Protect it.
like, I kind of agree, but at the same time, gosh, I feel like it makes it easier. You know what I mean? Like, if that's,
Yeah.
I guess if you literally just watch and analyze the same game over and over, then yeah, you're probably right. But
Well, do you have to play football to commentate football?
true.
10 seconds.
Probably
Football's an
don't.
easy sport though, right?
Yeah.
You grab
5
ball, you
seconds and
kick,
counting.
it goes between the sticks. You win.
Yeah.
I could do the footy
Op 4 has located
Simple.
a bomb. Get ready to
of
engage.
it, if only.
This Cade is absolutely sending it. Should I trap him outside?
No, don't do that. That came from the side I didn't expect them to come from.
It's alright, you refragged yourself.
Oh, perfect.
Well, their team refragged you, which is really what matters, isn't it?
Oh, this guy, he's trying to get a kill with the scope pistol.
Oh, that's lit.
If you remain in this zone,
That's
you
like
will be
garage dev.
detected by hostiles.
Like outside the gates. Know what I mean?
You have entered an enemy-controlled area. Leave now.
Yes, I didn't know
Spotted by
Yes.
hostiles. Fall back.
Oh, hello.
He
Well,
wants me to save him. Is this the guy who was calming me before?
No, different guy.
Okay, just checking.
I had the music.
This is the guy with the music, yeah.
I was intentionally not holding it, by the way, just so that's very clear. Just wanted to confirm who he was.
He is very eager. This guy, this Cade player.
With the scope pistol as well. I
Yeah,
applaud
no,
the man.
yeah. I approve of his gusto. When's the ESL ANZ versus R6? Sorry, ANZ R6 versus CS show match comes from Beer Scotch. Oh no, sorry, that was from Blue Panda. Great question.
What do you think will
All
happen?
friendly
Like, how would you even play it?
Mission failure.
I assume. I don't know exactly what he means. Whether it's like the staff from each go against each other, the casters or something. I'm not quite sure.
I guess you could
the
do
top
like
CS team against the top R6 team.
And what do they play though?
So you'd have to play a match of Siege and a match of CS, and then you'd
Right.
have to play a match of something else.
this is Rocket
then
League to
you-
finish it off.
I'm trying to think of what an FPS game you could pick, because you couldn't pick Valorant because it's too close to CS, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what you'd put them on Overwatch or something as like the
And they'd both be lost. Everyone would be lost.
That would be pretty funny.
TF2 to finish it off.
World
isn't
of
there?
Tanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. What do you reckon, Raven? Another one, or leave it there?
What are we at? 10:25. What do you guys think? I'm not too fast, hey.
I'm actually happy to leave it there if you guys are, unless you're keen to play another. I know we only said 10:30 for Ben, so I don't want to keep.
Yeah, I'm only paid until 10:30.
Crap. All right. Oh, damn. We're gonna have to rush through this next bit. Oh no. Yeah. All right. We can leave it there. We'll head into our little recap section.
I want to know, Ben, how do you feel that you actually have like how much of a difference has that made? You played, what was that? Probably about 2 hours tonight? More of Rainbow Six than you had in the past, and I don't know,
Yeah.
you probably about 2 hours. Oh no, probably about 10 hours total, 5 hours. I don't know what you played before tonight, but it's a significant increase in your total playtime.
Yeah, it is. The things we did at the start were really good, like to be able to just grab your operator and then try it out in that environment. I thought that was good. To be fair, I probably didn't make the most of our 2 hours tonight though, because I spent half of it answering questions about shoutcasting. But a lot of it is like, a lot of it definitely is just playtime, and the more I play, the more comfortable I get with it, I suppose. So it was good. It was good.
Cool.
We were slowly getting there, and another 5 years of this, and I reckon I'll be okay. We'll catch up. No, the thing is, I do feel comfortable enough now to go into like a quick play match or something and play some games. So I do think it's probably a little bit easier if I play with someone I know at the same time.
Yeah, definitely helps.
Yeah, I mean, Shane in chat saying he's happy to help you grind out some more. So, there you go. You have people who will play with you and help learn the game. But I think it was interesting to me seeing you play the training grounds, and just the way that, like, for example, when you took out that gadget and learned how to like breach a wall, learned how to shoot through a wall, and like checked which walls you could breach through. I think that's it's something that is just so much more difficult to do when you're actually playing against other players.
Yeah.
So the level of confidence you can build up just by playing against the bots, and the level of like map knowledge and everything. So honestly, like I could, if I had a mate who was jumping in and trying to learn how to play Siege, I would just say, yeah, just play, like log on, play against some bots, and then log off when you're done or whatever, and come back and do the same thing. Maybe do that 3 or 4 times before you even touch player versus player. I think that's totally fine. In fact, there are people who play Rainbow Six and literally just play against bots. Like there are people who play this game just to play that game mode.
Yeah.
And I think it's just such a safe environment to learn much faster. Of course, there is a point where you can't necessarily learn everything, and you can't learn how an actual player would react when you're playing against them. But so many of the fundamentals would just really accelerate your learning, your introduction to the game when you play against bots.
Yeah, I think it's good because like if anyone were to actually watch my screen at the start of each round, if we're attacking, I'm literally just jumping around with my drone and seeing how high I can jump. And when we're defending, I'm just running in circles and then trying to work out where I'm supposed to put stuff. And then I'm like, oh, the round started. I should probably get somewhere safer. And that's how it plays out at the moment. So still a lot to learn in that regard, right? And I guess maybe if I took my droning a little bit more seriously, I could probably improve a little bit quicker. But for now, we're not at that point.
Yeah, and look, just to echo all of that, Training Grounds is just a great place to test and learn, trial and error, experiment all you want. And even just like, I'd say the first 40 levels almost of Siege is pretty much exactly like that. It's super experimental. You just got to try stuff. It's like I was saying earlier, if you have an idea, just try it, see what happens. It might work out really well and you're like, wow, okay, I might try that more often. Or yeah, it might fail completely and you'll be like, okay, scratch that off the list of things I ever do again. That's so much about how you pick up the game. And I think if you get too bogged down in just trying to be good right from the start, you'll be too afraid to do things. And that's where you just like stand at a corner for like 2 minutes, kind of like afraid to move because you're just not sure what to do. So you got to be totally okay with making those mistakes.
There's a reason why you can't play ranked. Like, it locks you out of ranked until you're a certain level. And I think it's level 50 or something, which is a lot of hours in the game before you can actually play ranked. And you probably shouldn't be playing ranked that early on. If you want to learn how to get good at the game, take it slow. It doesn't all happen overnight. And yeah, there are great resources out there. I know when I was learning the game, I watched a lot of YouTubers. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. There's great guides out there. And I think one of the most enjoyable ways to play and learn the game is to play with others. So find some mates. Raven, we're actually going to mention Squad Finder. There's a new service that Ubisoft has released, which is a way to find other mates that you can play with. So do that. If you play a game and you enjoyed playing with some teammates, send them a friend request and invite them to your lobby and playing with the group. That's I didn't start playing Rainbow Six with many other of my friends I knew from outside of gaming, from real life. I just met a lot of people while playing, and that created like a big community of people that I could play with.
Yep, same story for me. I played the game solo. None of my mates had it when I first got the game. I think up until about level 60, I was just constantly solo queuing. Eventually, I just met some nice people that were actually nice in voice comms, and I was like, yeah, I'll add you guys, play together. And that's how I ended up forming my first team. And that really, shot me all the way through to the entire career path. So yeah, don't be afraid to communicate with random people in your match. And yeah, some people you'll just want to mute. That's fine. Some people are going to be great. And just embrace the people that are fun to play with. It's a great way to learn the game as well. Like you said, play with other people. It's a lot of fun. Squad Finder is a fantastic tool, only very, very recently launched. So definitely give it a crack. It helps you find people that are somewhat like-minded. You can input your role, that kind of thing. So definitely experiment with that tool. Highly recommend it. The other thing that I really want to talk about actually is if you want to get more perspective on potentially amateurs playing Rainbow Six Siege, we do have a really fun event coming up this weekend called Amateur Hour, which is going to be hosted by myself and Nick Boy, who you guys might be familiar with from OPL. And it's just going to be 10 content creators, streamers that have hardly played Rainbow Six. And we're putting them through a lot of really fun and what's going to be probably hilarious challenges. So that's tomorrow night and Sunday. You can chuck a follow on our socials, Rainbow Six ANZ. You'll have all the information there. Going to be starting at around 6 p.m. So definitely recommend tuning in. And as we've been saying, it is a free week for Rainbow Six Siege. So if you have been thinking about downloading the game, great time to start.
Yep, get one of your mates into it as well. And I think there's a sale. So if your mate's having a birthday, sure, do that. I think I'm actually pretty sure I got this game for my mate for his birthday. Like we were talking about playing it together, and I think I bought him and myself a copy for his birthday, and I was just like, there you go, let's play Rainbow Six. And that was 2016, 4 years ago. So
and I'm just going to throw in there, because I think this might be something that you guys don't necessarily realize coming when you play a lot of Siege, is that I didn't realize how well it was going to run. I've been playing a lot of rando stuff, and I get so used to like early release and blah 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 and whatever, and even other like AAA titles and whatnot. You go in and it's always a struggle, and it was just so nice to come back to this and go, oh, everything just feels so smooth. It's an entirely different experience to what I've been used to. So it's I don't remember what it used to be like back when I played the tutorial 20 times in a row, but that's the thing that I'm enjoying the most, that it feels like I want to do a thing and the game lets me do a thing up until a point someone shoots me through a wall. But up until that point, it felt really good.
Yeah, that's I totally agree. I personally have had great experiences with how the game works, and that being said, like we do play a lot of hours, and I think some people do start to lose I don't know what you'd call it, like the shine of how it feels to play the game, because you just play so many hours of it.
Yeah.
Taking it for granted.
to bring it back in, we've got, like you said, Amateur Hour this weekend. We've got episodes every week of this show, Late Night Siege. If you want to catch up on previous episodes, we've had pro players, we've had streamers, YouTubers on here, even other commentators, and we talk about all kinds of things. We've done episodes where we focus on specific operators or maps. So if you're interested in learning how to improve, feel free to go check out the playlist that we have on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/c/rainbow6anz. And there's a Late Night Siege playlist there. You can see all the episodes of all named. So if you just want to go for the one that's about Thatcher or whatever, you can go and search for that. You can keep up to date with all the Rainbow Six ANZ socials as well for all the other stuff like Amateur Hour that's going on. But aside from that, Ben, if people want to keep up to date with what you're up to, where should they go?
Yeah, definitely follow me at my Twitter, which is on the screen at BenGreenAU. Most of it, to be fair, is me tweeting about whiskey. So be warned, or come and follow me for that particular content. But yeah, look, we do all the things, and it's exciting times. And this year's kind of sucked for esports, but also it's been a good year in other ways. So yeah, hopefully big things on the horizon for Siege and everything else in the gaming world. And I'm hoping that in 2021 we're all going to be in a better spot for esports than maybe it would have been otherwise. So hopefully a big year next year.
Yeah, well, I've spent a lot of this year just staying home playing video games. So
yeah,
doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Yeah, exactly. I honestly don't know what I would be doing if I didn't love gaming, and I feel sorry for people who don't.
Yeah. I actually got my girlfriend into gaming thanks to the situation and just staying home all the time. She played Rainbow Six, and it's funny when you mentioned that you just spent all your time jumping and seeing how high you could jump with the drone. That's exactly what my girlfriend did. She was just like trying to figure out how to jump around, and we actually did a drone race. It was pretty spectacular. But yeah, that's the show for tonight. Raven, I know this is the first time with you producing. Are we all good to close? Is everything looking good? All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
All right, thanks very much for watching, everybody. Come back every week, Late Night Siege, twitch.tv/rainbow6anz. But until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.